Wow. Um, okay. I guess people can see me. Can y'all see me? I don't know what's going on. It seemed like they was playing games. Okay, it seems like I'm up now. Okay. Hey everybody, or whoever's here. It's another episode of Candice Michelle Views where I give my opinion on what I am viewing on any mainstream media platform that you could think of. Just giving my little disclosure because this is all based off my opinion or whatever little things that I say is facts. But it's opinionated facts, whatever. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, what's up everybody? It just seemed like it wasn't working, so I'm just making sure that it's up. Okay, yes, sir. Okay. Yes, so before I get started on various topics, we're just gonna have a little chit chat today. I don't really have nothing planned because I'm still working on like, doing little things with my computer. So I'm just like jumping up here real quick because it's like little various topics I wanted to go over. Um Yeah, so before I go over the topics, of course, I want to do my little interlude. So, today on just going over some Amazon my best finds on Amazon, just to show. I'm not sure if you guys saw the affiliated links that be in the comments, but if so, try to click on the links and get something. Hopefully, you guys will actually like it. So today, one of my Amazon best finds. This time I'm not gonna fall over. Let me see if I can bring it over this way. So I got a little setup here. It's basically a tea with a LED light. So it can swivel. It can literally swivel around on the thing, and it heats up very fast. So yeah, you can get this on Amazon. It's a glass kettle LED, blue LED light. It swivels around. You literally just plug it up, click it onto the station base, and then press this button. And then it gets hot like really fast. Like you're gonna see right now, it's gonna just like get hot mad fast. It get hot like within 1 or 2 minutes. So I do suggest this because I do drink tea or something hot every morning. So if you don't have like something convenient, sometimes you may not drink tea. So I think it's a good find if you don't have a tea kettle to buy one. So it would encourage you to drink more hot tea, hopefully, or anything hot like an oatmeal or something in the mornings. Because it's best to put something warm in your stomach in the mornings. If you're getting up in the mornings or doing anything, first time up, it's like when you first do something, it should be something warm. So anyway, this is a cute little find. 22 22.99. You just literally press the button, it clicks up. You make your little tea or whatever you're making. Yeah. And then add some honey, whatever. And you got some tea. I'm not going to drink none right now, but yeah, I will put the link in the comments. And if you guys don't have a kettle or you want to upgrade your little kettle because this is a cute little kettle, like at night or whatever, it lights up and stuff like that. Or if you get up really early in the morning. So, yeah, I'll have the link in the comments, or you can always go to my Instagram or my TikTok, and copy the link and paste it into the user because I did not know you can't click on links, in TikTok and Instagram, but whatever. So anyway, you can click on a link inside these comments. I'm always going to pin it as well. So yeah, look out for that. So anyway, how you guys are doing today? That's my little Amazon best finds, and I am going to be continuing. Hopefully, I can get a little website so people could be easier to like click and see all the things that I've been like mentioning every time I can mention one. So yeah, how everyone's doing tonight? Yeah, so I know I said like 7 or 8. Some people was asking what time, but like literally if you technically think about it, if you're like on a different side, like on like the West Coast or something, I'm technically on time, right? Or early. Like it depends on what type of time, like because we know time is just like woo. So if you're like basing it on a time on Eastern, yeah, I'm pretty late. But if you're basing it on like the West, South Central, I'm gonna talk about the West too, like the South Central. I didn't know, I wasn't really thinking about South Central LA until I was watching like this Montel Jordan video where he was like, "This is how we do it," and he was like talking about how he was going hard at the end, like he was breaking it down hard at the end, and it was like South Central does it like nobody does, and I'm like thinking about like South Central, right? Like, but anyway, I'm gonna get to that, right? Because it's on the west side, and we're gonna get to the west side. But if we was basing time on the west side, I'm early on time technically. But yeah, we're gonna get into a little bit of chit chat, a little bit of topics. Nothing really serious. I don't really have nothing planned. I'm still trying to work on upgrading stuff, so I don't be talking through the whole time I'm up here. Hopefully people could just like back me up. I don't know. I was looking for IMC's. Is his page down? Like what happened to? I don't know if people know on these YouTube streets where he at. If so, put his link in the comments, and hopefully he does have something set up. Or I don't know if he's working on trying to open his page again, but I haven't seen him in a while. Um, I expose MCs. If anybody has any idea, have another link, just put it in the chat, and I'll click on that and try to give a follow. But yeah, I don't know what's going on, so I haven't seen him in a while. But yeah, hopefully everything is okay. And if he has another page, just put the link in. So anyway, I seen somebody else put in links to other pages. That's totally fine with me. I don't have like this big super platform, so you could always just throw in some links to other pages, and I do check them out. And other people, if you do look into the comments, do check them out as well and see what you like and what you don't like. It's up to you guys. It's always a choice, like slavery, Okay, so it's a choice. So yeah, thank you for being here. The mystic owl tree. Okay. Owl's a different kind of animal. Creature. Shantae. Hey. Diamond Child. Jessica P. Josh Locke and Maxine Blair. Hey, how you doing? Hi, Maxie from London. Okay, you from London? Might be talking about some of you people today. Your area. I don't know exactly, all the details about, your history, but we do talk about London sometimes. We do talk about abroad here sometimes. Hey Isan, thanks for being here. You always be here. What happened with him? I was thinking the same thing about, yeah. So that's what I'm saying, Isan. If he has another page, I don't know if they took him down. I'm gonna try to hit him on his Instagram, but he's not really active on his Instagram, so we'll see what happens. But I just noticed that he hasn't posted in a while, and I'm like, hey, what's up with my little friend? He constantly keeps me going. I'm glad. I like people that keeps going. I mean, if it's not something that he wants to do anymore, I understand. Because some people do be needing breaks, or some people don't be really like into it. Like sometimes it could just become like repetitive, and it's like, especially if they don't feel like they're getting the response or reaction that they are trying to get, and it seems like it's just not, it can get frustrating. But I don't take it too. I take these things lightly. Hopefully things get on the right track on just all topics that I go over, and it all ties in together at the end of the day. And yeah, so let's get into something. Let's talk about something. Um yeah, it's just like a lot of stuff going on. So just basically the last live that I did, I feel like I'll be talking about my last lives. I'll be thirsty. Pineapple Brown disappeared. Yeah, Pineapple Brown been disappeared. I mean, she was doing a good job. I felt like I liked her. I always checked. I was always a viewer. But it's really up to people if they got time. Tell you the truth, it's a lot. So I do understand if they don't have time or they just feel like they're not just getting. And I feel like everybody feels like they should be at a decent point, like, of views. And most of the time, if you're not really like a part of something where you're gonna be able to get those views, or I don't know exactly. I don't know. Sometimes it's just not gonna happen. No matter how much, how consistent you are, how whatever good or your own, you feel like you're giving your own content out that it could possibly get taken, and you're like, well, if it's getting taken and it's getting this much views, why is this? I'm originating this stuff and it's not coming out as the same. So you just gotta understand it's just not going to happen for you because you don't know the right people. You're not doing, you're not shaking the right hands, and because YouTube ain't just gonna let anybody get a certain amount of views. They make sure that you do certain stuff, and you got to be like a part of, likes and Snapchats, and if you get that kind of stuff going. And on top of that, it's still a lot to get them views. It's just not even like you begging for Snapchats, and because even if you get a decent amount of that, they probably use something, but they want you under some type of control before they could ever, like, you just can't be on big platforms saying anything that they ain't interested in, so. Anyway, so they'll keep you in a dungeon like me. I don't mind being in a dungeon, torture me. Anyway, and like I said, I match energy by 10. So torture me, I'm torturing you back by 10. And YouTube, no, we be fighting. But yeah, just like a little when I just got on here, I don't know what was going on. It was like I was thinking like they was not even gonna let me up here, but yeah, it got itself together after a minute or two. But yeah, so my last live, I was talking about the Sean guy, right? The Sean. Remember, I don't know if you guys really even care. Like a lot of people don't really care about TikTok and stuff, but I just feel like they threw them on TikTok, and it was like the only thing that was really getting that amount of views. And the fact that they threw those people on TikTok and was getting that many amount of views, I just felt like it was just like, and then the name of the guy, Sean Adams. I just felt like this isn't by accident. They want us to hear these little messages or whatever they got going on. So, I kind of like exposed them basically, which like, Sean Adams is basically French for like John Adams, and it's like the founding father name of, America. And he kept saying he was like American, even though it's saying he's from St. Louis or whatever. And St. Louis is kind of like towards the Midwest or whatever, so it could be mixy or whatever going on over there. So anyway, he's French. No matter which way he spins it, his descent is coming from some type of French line. So I just felt like it was weird that he was making sure he just stayed away from that. People was trying to rear him into it because he don't believe in God. He don't. So it's like, bro, if you and then you poly, you this and that. So if you French, whatever, just say you French over here, and we don't really practice that. But instead of that, he's just like staying strong into saying like, no, I'm American. I'm born in St. Louis, but you could be American and born in St. Louis, but we're not saying that. We're saying, hey, is your background from probably, French or whichever way whichever way it comes from. Especially when they practice those kind of things. So anyway, let me find his picture so you can see what I want to talk about. Because he's fairly new. I felt like he was like under the same practice of like Young Pharaoh, and I'm going to talk about Young Pharaoh too, and that fake little bust upside the head. Like, I'm going to say from because Young Pharaoh's annoying. So I like Young Pharaoh, but the fact that he is like, I don't know. He's just something else. Like I can't explain it. Like the fact that he's like all over the place, and then he got busted in the head. He's a general. He's a pharaoh. Like I don't know. We're gonna get to him and his fake robbery. I feel like yeah, I'll be jumping over. Let me just stick to one subject. But I got some pictures in here that fake bust in the head. So here the guy go, right? The Sean Adams dude. Clearly French descent. Clearly French descent because of the features. So you see, I just was talking about them trying to like explain kind of like the coded because they're military, and how he's trying to take people information. You gotta have like a 700 credit score, blah 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 blah. And there's a lot of people talking about what kind of scams they doing. After I exposed them on YouTube, it's been like nonstop. They was already investigating them. Like it was a lot of people because I feel like I said, people were saying that they know it's scripted, but they were saying like change the storyline. I'm like, no, don't change the story. Like they were telling me like, oh, just change the story. Like we enjoying it, we know it's fake, and we enjoying. But it's like, no, don't watch them because they're not trying to say that this is a scripted show. They're really trying to get people information. There's probably some people out there that really think, you're saying, oh, I know, I'm smart enough to know this is scripted, but it's some people that's not smart enough to know it's scripted. So you're keeping the views up high, you're watching it, telling them to do more content, and you should stop supporting these people because some people do get away with getting scammed by them. But anyway, I don't know if they're scamming or not. That's not something that I'm saying, but obviously a lot of people are speculating and giving a lot of good information that they are. And I felt like he was some type of like young Pharaoh 3.0, like going forward, because Young Pharaoh was like very ghetto with his, and it fell all apart. And now this Sean Adams guy, he's like got these girls that he's trying to promote like they're all professionals, specifically saying professional women and stuff like that. So like not the ratchet version of what was going on prior. So he says a lot. He says the same phrase like Young Pharaoh, and a lot of those Pan African or whatever people, the phrase of what phrase does they use? I forget the phrase. I said it in the last live. But when he was using that phrase a lot, I was like, yeah, this is reminding me of Young Pharaoh so much. And it seems like they gave him a new script because the other guy got locked up. He still ain't come home. He must have really touched kids. Allegedly, or whatever is going on with the other guy. I don't know everybody's name. Know I'm super bad with names and I chop them. But you know who I'm talking about. The guy that Young Pharaoh was all riled up about because Golden Booby was in his comments trying to, if he wouldn't have went to jail, I'm pretty sure Golden Boobies would have been trying to get on his live because she was dying out. And Shorty is an opportunist. She's an op. But, and whatever, because these people, they're not here to be friends anyway. The way how that story went, I already explained those stories on how it just was like very set up. Like, oh, you be with this person. The mother was all. But anyway, that guy got locked up. That conscious dude got locked up. So it's like now they got this John Adams dude up, right? So no, not Sean Adams, right? So I'm talking about him like, oh, the girl, she's military. The other girl, she's Indonesian. And them Indian people call you all day asking for your information. So they like the girl that's military keeps saying, oh, she's an asset. She's the asset. The Indonesian girl mixed with Black, West Indian, whatever she's mixed with the father. I don't know. I can't really tell what the father is. Those are the ones that be like in between, like Seminoles or something, where look like Kwame Brown or something, where you don't really know like where direction they going. Are they going towards the West Indians, or are they going to like Negroes from the South? Because it's very tight and close. It's like which one you identifying with or whatever. So anyway, so this girl is supposed to be Indonesian, and her mother's directly Indian. And she grew up with her mother, and then she was trying to place like she was living in poverty, and people blew her up and said she comes from like her mother's working for rich people, and this is always the story. Just like Barack Obama's wife, Michelle Obama, they always live with like rich white people or something. Not like I don't even say just white people, but just like in this community where they say they always get like indoctrinated with like a family, and the mother was working as like a whatever, and they were rich, and they just lived on the premises while they was like service or whatever. So she ended up eating caviar. So anyway, it was just like a long story like that. But I feel like after I exposed them, it was like not even a week after, people were coming from them, and then they haven't been on live, and it's just been like issues ever since I said something. They was on live every day, every single day, and so I said something about them on my YouTube, and then all of a sudden production has stopped. Like it's just like some weird ass production where it's just like no one's coming up. They're doing lives separately and things like that, and I'm not really following them, but I just felt like that's weird because I just was like talking about them, and then it's like all these issues with their show now. So anyway, that's just one thing. I just feel like because that's not the first time that happened where I say something and things like happen, like where I was just recently talking about that stabilized rent. And you see recently in the news, they said that they were buckling down on all stabilized rent apartments in New York, where they're gonna like whatever, and those people were up there to the courthouses immediately and was like, oh no, don't mess with our stabilized rent, but so yeah, and I told you I was like, yo, these people be living in stabilized rent, especially over there in Bush and a lot of these other buildings. And I'm like, that's crazy because they be paying like 800, very cheap rent. And it's not like they live in the projects. They live in those buildings and stuff. So, and it's not like Section 8. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of people that live in like not so bad areas, and they live in a stabilized rent from like the 90s or whatever, paying very little rent. So I said something, and then it was in the news literally like a couple days ago or last week or whatever, where they was talking about that they are changing or doing something. Probably not doing much because they give these people deals. Most of those people are immigrants and they're getting these. Who got stabilized? How many people get stabilized rent? Like, so trust me, most of these people are immigrants and stuff that's getting a stabilized rent in apartments, and they be having that from the whole time. Like, because stabilized rent means it don't change. So it could be 20. They be getting it for 25 years or so, paying the same amount of rent. So anyway, while other people are getting 10% or 50% or 100% every year, they're trying to up every year. They've been doing that if you're living like inside like a private home or something like that, right? So anyway, so it's just not fair at all. And they act like they was doing something about it, but I doubt they'd do anything because those people were up at the courthouse immediately. So that's one thing, because I'm a flip flop. One thing about history, if you guys are really trying to figure out, like, for people that's been here for as long as you can remember, as your family can remember, you got to understand that most of us don't know nothing about all these cheat codes. They come in on codes and then they made all these things, so we don't even have none of these codes and nothing like that. So it's just like something that, just whatever we're trying to do, 9 times out of 10 we're gonna have to be like at the courthouse. Just like, I don't know what's the point. Like, these people know when to be at the courthouse. I don't know when you gotta be at the courthouse, but people gotta figure out. Like, I'm not the orchestrator. I'm just like the motivator, and hopefully people have better ideas. Because like I said, I'm like smart. But I'm not the smart person like in the back of the, like if I'm like in an advanced class, like I'm like in the back, because I'm smart enough to know that I want a really, really smart person to do the work. And I'm definitely up in it. Like, the work gotta be good. I'm gonna check the work. And if the work, I've been in like group studies where people thought I was gonna check that work. And I put people in like boom, 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 boom. And it's just like, if just like on that movie when he was playing that song, he was like, he messing my song up, and he pushed the guy off the piano to play, the heartbeats or whatever. It's the same thing. Like, I would put, like, I thought this girl was smart, I thought the guy was smart, and it turned out they were mediocre. And I was like, this ain't gonna cut it. Like, and we got a C, and I went and told the teacher, and I ended up doing it over on my own, and I got a B plus. But I was just like hoping that they would do better. And I saw how bad it was, and I went to the teacher and me like, look, I would not put out no work like this. And I thought everybody would do their part. I did my part. We split it up, and we was gonna combine it together. But that was a bad idea. So anyway, yeah, I'm smart enough to put smart people in charge. But if they're not smart, like if they're not really smart, they pretending there. Because some people are nerds, but they're not really that smart. They're just nerds. Like, they're just socially awkward. But anyway, that's beside the point. Um. So anyway, yeah. So I felt like I definitely did that with my last live, and also the live with the with India Israel. When I be talking about him, you see how every time I talk about India Israel, he get a movie out. Because remember the last live I was talking about, he ended up with, and I was saying something about how he was British, and like, those are the people that have, it was the British and the English that was royal. You know what I'm saying? So he's British. Of course, he would be part of the royal type people that was a part of the. And he looks like, a Jamaican, whatever. But you really can't tell. Like, he could be on the borderline of Negro or West Indian, or But he's British, which is kind of like technically West Indian, Jamaican, right? Like the Solomon descendants from the Oshishina area, Simone, whatever, all those areas over there, past, coming from the Bering Strait. So anyway, yeah, so I feel like I was talking about India's Israel last time when I was talking about him, and I was talking about the cowboy movie. He ended up in a cowboy movie with Jay-Z. I was talking about all of them, and they made a movie off of it. Then I was talking about India Israel again, saying like he was just like the British is like the stolen birthright, where it should be the English first, our family first, but it's the British, the people across that was in like, up abroad from Canada going up. And I could show y'all on a map when I get on a computer one day. I could also show y'all on a map what I mean by the English royal family on our side and the British, the Great Britain British royal family, like with Margaret and Edward. And it's like literally they were mirroring us. They were fake versions of our royalness. Like Margaret being a fake version of Mary, and Edward being a fake version of Edmund, and all, our royal side. It was like a mirroring situation going on. But anyway, that's beside the point. I'm not really gonna be able to explain that until I can get on the maps. But so Indian Israel played the movie right after that live when I was talking about like the stolen birthright and the British of Lucifer. What is it called? Something, and he played Lucifer's son. It was called something. It's like some movie on Netflix, and it was a good movie. But I was just like, that's crazy. They made another movie, like literally Lucifer's son, like he's like God's like the opposite of what I was saying, like you know what I'm saying? Because like yeah, if y'all get what I mean, like Lucifer's son is like literally the opposite of God's son. So the fact that he played that movie, let me see what the name of the movie is, so I can say it like Idris Ivory. What movie he was just in on Netflix? Netflix. Let's see. I'm not good at spelling. Let me see. Yeah, it's not coming up. They don't never like me to have anything like ready. um, mm, I don't know what movie did he just get on, y'all. Let me see if I can put this up. Lucifer. Okay, it's the okay. I think somebody put it up there. Oh no, they didn't. So it's the fallen sun, the fallen sun. So you see what I'm saying? Because it's about the two. So he playing games with me. They all playing games because they're making a lot of money off of me. If y'all don't feel like they making movies off of everything I'm saying, I mean, I'm proving it. Like I literally was talking about these people, and they are constantly making movies similar to what I'm saying about them. You know what I'm saying? How they're portraying these things, or whatever. And now recently, a celebrity, I think it was Nas, was saying that, or it was somebody. I got it in here, but it's hard for me to find videos where he was saying that they prefer. Oh, it was Lorenz Tate. He was saying that they prefer British actors to play black roles over black people. So he basically saying like you could have hired a nigga like me, but instead, you hiring British people from abroad. You know what I'm saying? And these are the us people that I'm talking about. The us when it comes to us. You see that movie Us, the concept? It's the British royals that had because they're still like, doing well. Like anyway, I don't think I'm gonna be able to find that video. Of Lorenz Tate saying like literally they're hiring these people over us. So yeah, I don't think I'm gonna find it. So yeah, he ended up in a movie with the Lucifer Sun thing, the fallen sun, and then am I lying or am I flying? The Little Mermaid as well, right? Let's be honest. I'm gonna recap my lives really quick, and then we're gonna get into something else, and then we're gonna get into a little bit of history. Hey, Ezra Curtis, I see you on TikTok. Whoever has a TikTok, make sure you join my TikTok sometime soon. Hopefully, I will be going live on there as well, just doing various things, like more personal things, not really like how I do on YouTube. I'm gonna keep it separate kind of content. But yeah, what's up? And if you got a TikTok, follow me. Yeah, so and hey Mariah and reclassify our okay, the Nigerians with English accents, Virginians are the real British. I could kind of like see what you're saying as far as the people that came over to Virginia. But when people came to Virginia, you gotta understand there was already people there. When so-called John Smith or whoever came, right? Because I believe John Smith is Black John. I believe he's Black George. I believe he's the guy coming from Ukraine. That built the Prague. You know the shit that Nicki Minaj was talking about, like Prague, da da da. Da. I believe Black George did that. King with the Hanover royalty of Germany, the Black Germany royalty people came over to Virginia. I believe those are the people that came, and I believe that they murdered people as soon as they got there. They went on a code. They was on a code. It was murder, and it took out like 300-400 people that they just admit to. But I mean, they murdered the whole town, Jamestown, whatever, right? So that's their when the Nigerians came over, they pretend that they came over as slaves, but these were people that were these were people that had a big army, and they were warriors, and they were the original people coming over and messing with Pocahontas. It was always it was a black man, and they were messing with fair skinned women over in America. They were like fair skinned people. That's why we're fair people. We're fine skinned, fine looking people. I have in history when they talk about them in history, like when they talk about Negroes that was already here in America, in history, they'll say, "Oh, he was a fine man, or he was a fine," because they consider us a fine people. They don't consider the Nigerians and people from across the waters of a fine people, of a good looking. I'm not saying they're not good looking people. I'm just saying that in history, as far as when they do describe stuff, you're going to start realizing that when they describe Negroes from America, they always describe us as good looking, or a fine Negro, or a fine man. And we have fine here too. We have fine here and fine, fine. It's like it's not a thick, coarse situation going on. Like, as you can see, this is my hair, and it's like a fine. That's why I don't leave it out. All of this is not really my, I got stuff in the back, but I leave the front of my hair out. But I don't leave my hair out because it's like of a fine hair. Just like Wendy Williams. Like, I knew what Wendy Williams was talking about when she said she has like fine hair and fine, and she's like a tall specimen. And I'm not saying Nigerians. I'm just saying we all come from the same direct. Like, I'm gonna talk about Shaka Zulu. I already talked about Shaka Zulu in the connection to George, because them being brothers, because we got different mothers, same father. The Nigerian coming over, mating with Pocahontas, and that's when they get their King George. But I'm not gonna get into that, because that they're not explaining George father. They never talk about John, Augustine, or how he came through from Florida. Spanish Negro, and that's where you get the saints from Saint George and Saint something, in the West Indies. It's him going over there, setting up the same shop he set up in the South. He set up the same shop in the West Indies. It's the same conquering French, Haiti, same people, same juggernaut, whatever you want to call them. It's like the same people conquering King Kong, whatever. You see what I'm saying? So, but we're not going to get on into the Nigerian and how they are considered Godfrey, whatever. Because they don't consider everybody likes his son. See what I'm saying? His son is mixed. His son is mixed with Mary and whatever. So anyway, I'm not gonna get into that. We could debate one day when I could get them call-ins, and we could figure out who y'all think was here when those people, whoever was coming in and putting codes in, because that's what I'm gonna follow straight history of America. I don't really care about foreign history. It could probably help out a little bit, but it ain't gonna help out much because you guys didn't know really what was going on before y'all even got here. And most of that information, like when people talk about Aboriginals, like when they say Aboriginals, you got to understand that they always make sure that they put copper, they say and or copper colored people. We're two different fucking things. Like, they never say Aboriginal only. They say Aboriginal or copper colored people, because we identify as two different things, even though we probably come from the same beginnings. You see what I'm saying? But you got to understand, the people that went past that equator, if you know your real history, philosophy, that wasn't a smart idea. That wasn't what God wanted. That's not, when you do that, you're going up, you're going outside of, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, so you can't say, when everybody talks about Aboriginal, you got to understand you're landing yourself back in South America. You're putting yourself in South America, because that's where Aborigine people are from. That's why when they talk about Aboriginal people, sometimes you'll see, even in the Bible, whatever, they continuously tell you and or copper colored people. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, and then when you talk about Jesus, like George or any of them, they say burnt like brass, because or burnt like copper color, because if you're mixing with the dark Nigerian Black John or whatever, if you're mixing with the dark men and you're with a fair skinned woman, yes, you could, it'll be burnt copper. You see what I'm trying to say? Like you're mixing copper with the people when they went to the equator, they were considered burnt. They say it in the Bible. They literally say these people are burnt. Like, so I already explained all that stuff already. If you put 3, 4, 5 together, it's going to give you 6 and 7 and 8. Like, keep a sequence. Keep a sequence going. Don't start skipping. When they tell history, they tell that shit all over the place. Most of the time it's backwards, very backwards, and sometimes they play games like with the name, it was a name, and I was like, look how they played with that name. It was like, I forgot what name they was playing with. And I was like, look how they played with this name. I don't know. I don't know exactly what point I'm trying to make, but I wanted to talk about that Little Mermaid thing. Let me just see if I was trying to make a point with that name they was flipping. I was like, you see how they play with this fucking name? Yeah, I don't know. I can't find it. I can't find. I don't know exactly where I was going with that, but it was like something where they played with the name, and I was like, you see how they flipped it this way, where it meant something, something, but I can't find it right now. But that just like with like Mary, just like with Mary and Joseph, they be switching the kids, the names, they switch them a little bit. Where it's like you thinking they talking about Cain, right? But Cain is really Jesus. Jesus is really Moses. Like when you watch the movie with Harriet Tubman. You saw that the revision of Harriet Tubman when they was showing that when they were looking for her, they were looking for Moses and they was calling her Moses. You see what I'm saying? So it's like literally, it's like history. It's not. It's like a concept of the same time era. So no matter if you got Harriet Tubman or you got Moses, it's still gonna be landing you in the 18 mid something. But they keep giving you stories where it's just looping and putting you in a hamster wheel. So you could pretend that they was here in 1716. You could pretend, but when you look into the history of those years, you're gonna see the story loops and they just play with the names. They play with the name. Instead of Cain with Mary, instead of the Jesus story with this, it's gonna be this person with that person, depending on what time frame you're in. But it's the same fucking story because it's about the same exact time frame about what happened to these specific people. And only thing that mattered was the 13 colonies. It wasn't nothing really popping or nothing that was really as resourceful, as important as in the East. And I already showed y'all that in clips that they say out their own fucking mouth. You understand what I'm saying? Like that's why they all piled up in this as far as you could go, Midwest area. You see what I'm saying? Because it's very dangerous outside of Eden. And if you look up Edinburgh, Edinburgh is not everywhere. Edinburgh only is like in Texas. It's like it's like from the 13. You could tell like the regions. Like it literally gives you like a boxing of the East Coast and the Midwest area. When you look up Edinburgh, like Texas Edinburgh or Florida Edinburgh or Minnesota Edinburgh. It's not, Edinburgh isn't everywhere in the world. It's just literally in that East Coast Midwest region, and you can look it up. Look up Edinburgh. Where is Edinburgh everywhere? And it's literally going to just keep you in that region that everyone wants to pile up in over here. So you can't say, oh, these people came over here because it was people already here. Things are already lit. When you dig up over here, you're gonna dig up Negroes and probably some Dutchmen, which is the people that was coming from the same area I just told you they come from. They're European, Black European, French descent people, and Asiatic. There's nothing else going on over there. It's considered the wastelands. So that's and in history they literally tell you it's the wasteland. When you watch all them Chinese movies, they be like, oh, something, something, the wasteland. So like they're telling you it's the wastelands, and y'all literally are talking about people were born and everything came from there. How? How? Shit is the wastelands, bro. How did good? What came from there? Whatever came from there. I'm telling you, people from the East Coast was like, we wrote a book. We talked about it. We gossiped about it. So we said what we said about it. You know what I'm saying? And they tried to flip it on us, like, oh no, you did this. You're the dirty one. But you're not gonna see us look dirty. But you're gonna see a whole bunch of pictures of them looking dirty in the 18 somethings. It's like if you've been here since the 16 something, how did you look so dirty in the 1850s, begging for a place to stay where we were helping? Like listen, they were looking dirty. They were not looking good. They're trying to show you cartoon pictures. When they look good, it's cartoon pictures. When they show you real pictures, oh, they look very homeless. They look very like beggy, looking for bread. Um, got plenty of pictures of that. Of them looking very dirty. Look at this. See, y'all made me wait. I didn't want to get to history yet, and I'm gonna be up here for a while, I think. But I hope you guys stay with me. I'm gonna get to this. It is only too common to see the most desperate encounters between the women themselves, who become perfect demons under such circumstances. The lookers-on encourage the combatants instead of separating them. These wretched creatures have arrived at such a pass. Then they call them wretched creatures. They talking about the people that moved into Manhattan. I found a video about them. They called them they called them swamp water, something like they was calling them something. They moved into Manhattan, nasty ass people. And you heard him call them wretched. He said, "This is not even some black guy. This is some guy from where they're from, calling them the ones that came to Manhattan wretched creatures." Because mind you, those people left everybody and everything. Like, and then now they're white and they're this and they're that. You know what I'm saying? Now some of them they don't. Some of them they do go back, but I don't think they really care about people over on that side. I think people more towards like the Caribbean stuff look out for each other more than people that goes abroad, going towards like Iceland and places that they were coming from, especially China stuff. I don't know how much they give back, but whatever. But yeah, they like he said they were ratchet, nasty creatures, and we're gonna get into that. They never looked like they all looked like Victorian, and these are the people that they were bringing. It was actually a railroad. The weird thing about it, you saw like on Atlanta Housewives when they had Portia say like, "Oh, was it really a railroad?" So these people, her name Portia Williams too, right? So these people are real fucking actors, and a lot of these people are playing other roles too. Because I think Portia might not be an actual real character, or that she might be a part of like the incubator baby people where they're all in a relative situation where it would make sense if they are separate people that they are a part of this like little baby booming, whatever situation they had going on. You see what I'm saying? Where there was a lot of people coming out, big baby booming. But yeah, so she was like, "Oh, it was a real railroad." Remember, everyone was laughing like, "Oh, hell no, ha ha ha!" Like, no, it was hiding spots. This was real fucking railroads. The guy, where you get the Uncle Tom's Cabin movie, and I told y'all when the Uncle Tom's Cabin is the same thing as that show, the show that we was watching, that black show. I can't find. I had like a little thing where it showed if they was following the girl, the little scary things. It's the same thing from Uncle Tom Cabin. So they was trying to let you these actors and stuff instead of them coming straight out and telling us about stuff, they put it in like show. I don't know if they are aware that they're repeating a real history that we should be aware of, but of course that's why they canceled that fucking show. But yeah, so Portia was like, "Oh, it's a railroad." It was a real railroad coming across Kansas City, going to like Nova Scotia, taking them to like upstate New York and up, abroad. They were taking like Mexican, Victorian, like people like that, like some type of like mixed Albanian type. They was who knows? I don't know if these Negroes are saving them, Joshua Henson or whatever. These are supposed to be real people, but it's based off the same kind of stories of bringing upon certain people. I don't know, like it's hard to explain. Where he ended up dead. He ended up his firstborn. The Uncle Tom Cabin situation, his son had to go off to the war and they all died out in the war. So he sacrificed his first son. So it's all the same fucking kind of stories. I can't really explain how it all works. But they all know that they're telling the same ass fucking story all day about the black father sacrificing his black son, his young bull, or whatever. Like he's literally sacrificing his son. So it's the same story over and over, right? And who knows why the father is sacrificing his son and why he's saving another bitch. You see what I'm saying? Like I don't like other people. I don't know what's going on because mind you, remember the women came over here and they was wearing our clothes and they didn't know how to put on period pads. They didn't know how to put on pads. Their hygiene was bad. When they came, they explained to you. They'll give you that story. They'll give you that story and say that happened in Africa where they was trying to civilize them. But if you civilized them in Africa, why when they came over and they got videos of them when they was over here where they had bad hygiene still? So you gotta like when did y'all teach them anything? Because when the women was coming over, like you see men like this. They were all getting sent and drafted to the army, knowing it was a suicide mission, and who knows what they were signing up for. Why they like what kind of deal they were supposed to be fighting for? What was the fight about? And it was always like, oh, because the Japanese was supposed to be invading them or whatever the case may be. Like I don't know. They would have to explain that stuff. I don't know. I can't find shit, yo. I can't find nothing. Yeah, but it was real. It was real railroads. Look. Never going to see Negroes living as dirty as they were. What the fuck? Never going to see Negroes living as dirty as they were. Yeah, they all in the. They said they went to the back of the alleys of New York where it was like swampy at. Here go. This is the people that they were saving. I don't know who these people are, but these became white people, Jewish people. They didn't look like they started to look like that after a while being here. But before they got here, this is what they were looking like. They were looking like Albanians or looking all worse. So who was saving these people? Who was here that was saving these people? Since these the people that's rich, these the people that have everything now. These the Jews, these the white people, whatever. These are all. Well, who are these people today? Since they lived in Manhattan, they squatted up in Manhattan. They took this whole thing talks about how nasty they were, and they like it was flooded, and they took flooded. They took flooded cribs. Like water damage, a lot of damage. Like the water was all the way up to the middle of the wall. Then they move on in. Put them in swamp kids. Oh, they called them the swamp. See, they called them the swamp kids. They moved into the back of Manhattan. I don't know what happened to Manhattan to the point where it flooded. And I guess after it flooded, they all went into that nasty area where it was condemned. And that's what they do everywhere. Everywhere they came originally in America, they was going into swampy areas where it was condemned, like Florida. Look how they walk in. They floating and driving in Florida, like. We know people that's been here. You see why we Negroes really don't live there. You see, like most of the Negroes that live there, they mix. Like they mix with like Western, the same Nigerians that came over here, the same people. They mix with those people. It's more they call them Seminoles and stuff like that, where they mix. Like those will be African Americans. You see what I'm saying? Like where they semi Seminoles. You see what I'm saying? Like they mixed with whatever coming because they were coming from off the shores and blah blah blah, come from Florida. So anyway, you could see that people like us never really, we stopped at Jackson, Florida, Augustine, Florida, and that's where John Augustine and all that and Pocahontas, Jackson. Why do you think it's right next to each other when it gets to Georgia? Right before, right, it's in Florida, but we don't mess with nothing after Jackson, Augustine, John Augustine. And you understand what I'm saying? Because that's the kingdom starts from there. But Florida used to be something. It probably was areas that they dealt with because it's the part of Florida that I'm talking about. It had the fountain of I think that was where the fountain of youth was. It's in Jackson. It's in between Jackson, Florida, and in Tallahassee, I think, or Tallahassee or something. But I'm just saying, after that, all that Florida going past and all those like Key West and all them little islands, and then it goes on to more islands, and then it's, of course the Central and the South America. Like no, and then West Africa, like that's all same descendant of people, and they all were Negroes, Spanish Negroes, white Negroes, Spanish Negroes, like all different kind of Negroes that are now swarthy, like more speak French or Spanish now. And anyway, of course, the Asian and the mix of the Asian stuff did not happen until because China and everything was remote. The wastelands was remote. So if this is an area that if Africa so called built out the whole world, right? Why was China and India and all these places so remote for so long until the 17 or whatever they started to when they went over to do whatever they did with whatever. Like let me tell it. These people went and experimented, with like canine, with like bat, probably I don't know. Of course, monkey for sure. I believe they were experimenting, and then boom, it's just filled out. It's just filled out. They don't stop now. It's like super filled out, which is creepy, and they all the same kind of DNA. Like it's just like no kind of like recessive gene going on. No one's changing. It's just like that's weird. That's weird. It's no real recessive gene going on, but they're multiplying rapidly with the same features, same look, same black eyes, black hair, black like it cannot. There's nothing going on. No curl ever. No curls. That's interesting. They're studying our DNA. We should be studying the shit out of them. Who's poking and prying them? Is anybody poking and prying the Chinese? Like the Asians? Because they poke and prod the crap out of us. I mean, they love us. They love them some sugar cane. They love them some sugar cane is like a tan copper. It's not really copper, it's like tan. Like going towards like the like more like beige. But anyway, tan, like beige, I don't know. It don't matter. It don't really matter. It's all the same stories. But yeah, so what I was talking about, I forgot. I got off the subject because that's why I want to get something to like have a call in, because I feel like I could go on and on if somebody wants to like say, oh, this, and I'll be like, well, if that happened, then you got to explain some certain things, geography wise. Like I don't care about history books because a lot. You can't take something if you only got history books. You already losing because you got to take the way how puzzles really work. Like say like not puzzles, but like how all out like you see like on MTV where they have like those challenges, like a challenge. Like it's not a real. You're not really challenging yourself if you're just sticking with books and you don't know verbal. You know, people go study abroad for reasons and talk to old people in small towns for reasons. You got to do as far as like if you wanted to be like a reporter or do any kind of journalism, you got to do a lot of like every aspect of trying to figure out before you can even come to some type of conclusion for your, and it's still going to be opinionated at the end of the day, and it's still going to be an opinion, but it could be a very strong opinion if you have a lot of things that back it up. But anyway, yes, a lot of people will bring out books, and it's like, okay, books is cool, but you got to have a lot of like, it's like a lot of stuff that comes with it, and it all gotta make sense. Like I said, like with MTV with the challenge, you know, some good people are good with like speed. Some people are good with like upper strength. They have like something where you gotta go up the rope. Then they have like a puzzle where somebody's good with like puzzles. Then they have like something where it's like, oh, you gotta go up a hill. You know, whoever could breathe the longest. I don't know, hold their breath underwater. Like they have all kinds of like things where you're going through all these obstacles. Cause life is not just one book, like or a bunch of books. Like it's gonna be a bunch of shit. Like it's gonna be so many different things. And if you're not grabbing out of all of that, then I don't know how you're gonna debate somebody. Cause no one's gonna just stick to a book. Cause books are like, you know, it could be another book that's on the same topic, and it could be a lot of difference in the books. So it's just like, you know, it could be the same exact book. Like how many math books you have, and you're like, how many different math classes I gotta take? You would think you learned all math you could, but it's I still haven't learned all math. I haven't learned calculus, and so it's just like so many different like math books, and it's like, okay, I can't just use this math book. I gotta use mad different like shapes. We gotta get like when we get to like different stuff, it turns into weird shit like engineering. Like it's math and engineering, but it's not real math. I don't know what kind of math engine they be calculating words like, oh, fiber, this and that, XL. And I'm like, what are we calculating right now? Like, it was so confusing. So anyway, it's just like a concept that I'm just trying to make, like, where if I'm gonna be debating somebody, I'm gonna be all over the fucking place. I'm just giving a warning. Like, if you pop out on my chat and think that you ain't gonna have me just in a book, no, I'm not staying in no books because y'all be going back 30 years and there wasn't even no books then. So and nobody was even writing on the walls then. Like it was nothing then. Like if you ask me, I don't. People be like, oh well, what was before the Native Indians? What was before them, bro? Dig it up. You tell me. Only thing you digging up is Negroes. So when y'all dig up something else, let us know what was here before us. Because if something was here before us, it should be some type of evidence. They should be there. Once they started finding all them Afro niggas, they was looking like they was like, stop production. We're no longer digging up Manhattan because we need Central Park. We need this area. It's gonna be the Central Park Five for real. Like, you know, one of them supposed to have lived. One of them supposed to have lived across the street from the Central Park, whatever. So all of us is about to be moving on up. We finally about to get a piece of our own fucking pie. Finally, we're gonna finally be able to sit at the booth without them kicking us out, saying, "Oh, black people can't sit at. We're not serving you." Like, no. Put us back into our sky rises, please. And I hope everything is the way we left it. And I'm pretty sure it is because they have not fixed or re. You know, I see that they restore stuff, but they don't play with the foundation or the structure of most of these buildings in Manhattan. They will never rip none of those houses, them brick homes, and those brick. They not ripping none of them shit down. You see, they'll re-renovate inside all day, but they will never mess up the foundation because they can't build like that no more. They don't build like that no more. So anyway, back to what I was saying about the Little Mermaid. So am I tweaking, or when I first started this, right? When I was like talking about scams and celebrities and how they scams because they only are here to distract us and keep us being workers and acting like that they're like like they try to make you comfortable about not being at your full potential self because you think, oh, I should be a superstar if I was. And that's not the case. Most of these people that's being superstars and stars are stupid enough to sign contracts, and that's really what they're being put on a scene for. And those people always think they're gonna beat the contract, and the contract always end up putting them in the grave or in another country, or who knows what be going on with these people. They be acting weird, right? So anyway, so I started off talking about scams and these back ass celebrities, telling y'all not to, let them influence you. You should be doing your own thing, wear your own stuff. Don't ever spend your money wasting your money on them. Waste your money on things that's gonna improve you in your lifestyle, in your life, in your overall health. And that was just my point. And then I started getting on history and stuff because I'm like, okay, people talking about history, and that's my okay. We don't need to see Tariq Nasheed up here right now. But yeah, I don't really have much to say about him, right? Not right now. But anyway, Tariq Nasheed is funny. He say he's coming from North. Tariq Nasheed saying he's coming from North Carolina. Mind you, I was born here, but I'm not from North Carolina. My family ended up in North Carolina, like my mother, my father. Because like North Carolina, technically, you can't be from North Carolina. Like you could say you're from North Carolina, but your family shouldn't be from North Carolina because literally, I think it was like literally the Carolinas at some point, right? I think it was just like literally South Carolina. Or was it always North Carolina as well? I know, just like with Virginia, I know it was just Virginia, and then they split it and made West Virginia. So I don't know if North Carolina is as like South. I think it was always just South Carolina, right? And then it became. I think it was just like a Carolinas, and then it became like a South and a North. So that's like it's like fairly. I know North Carolina is more like a base area, right? Like with like military base, whatever. So when you say like you from North Carolina and not saying you're like from like more of like a Mississippi or a Tennessee or a Virginia or like some of the states that's always been here, because it's like 13 states. It wasn't really like a bunch of states like how it is on the East Coast. Now some of these states are split and this and that. Like New York, I think like it was once called York. Now they call York the Yorkshires, but that's like the reflection of the Yorkshires. That's another place where Negroes is at, and that's when those they say those Norwegian people came and they was on sword. I gave y'all that story about those sword fighting over there in the Scotland, Ireland. I believe those were like Western. We worked with the British Island people, so they were over there in Ireland. I believe we were like in Scotland. We had the uplands, but we still was doing the same thing over here in Canada and in the East Coast of all the 13 colonies. So anyway, it's a little bit complicated when you don't have like the master health, right? So anyway, I forgot what my point was. I don't know what point I was trying to fucking make there. But anyway, when I first started, I was talking about history and stuff because people was talking about Negroes in East, the South and all that. And I was like, ooh, that's my subject. So, I got up here and well, I felt like I don't want people to say too much because some people were saying a lot, and a lot of people like us, we don't be up here. You're not going to see us. You don't. If we are up here, the pages are hitting, for its life. You're not going to see the day of light. You know what I'm saying? So I know how important it is to try to, speak more for us because it's not a lot of us specifically. It's a lot of Negroes, a lot of mixed Negroes, a lot of stuff going on. It's a lot of stuff going on. So I always try to keep it to the 13 counties. I always try to keep it to Virginia, to Georgia, to, some very beginning of Florida. Everything, Florida is invaded and infested. I don't know who would think that if you still got relatives in Florida, if you a Negro, I don't know who you relate to out there, but okay, they might be mixed, whatever. Because there's no way. And that's why that shit is flooded, because we don't be there. We're not going past Augustine or Jackson. Like, it's just not happening. But, I understand that some people do spread a little bit out, and you might get a little bit lost, a lost angel. You might end up a little bit lost and go a little bit too far than what you're supposed to be. But, that's when you start to become a little bit of like, what do they call that movie? Something, Bayou, Ease Bayou. Then you become a little bit of Ease Bayou. Because that's where East bayous really mean. It's like they swampy. They'll bring the water bugs. They'll bring the I'm not here to judge. So I don't really go hard, but I just like to make sure people are aware of what is really being said and what's really being like. That's what judgment and stuff is really about. Like, oh, what we are coming across. People are coming up. People are trying to stick us for our Jews. Like how Biggie Smalls was saying, like, niggas is trying to stick me for my cream and it ain't a dream. It's the ones that smoke blunts with you, like. So that's what's really going on over here, and that's what the Bible and stuff really be talking about. And like, trying to put it in like 2023 terms is like, bro, watch your back, because there's some wild people that look like you but ain't really you, and they mad that you really from here, like you really this really you, and they want it to be them, and some people don't care and some people do, and that's it. Like, I don't know. Some people are okay with what they got going on. They gotta understand what they got going on is what they got going on. A lot of storms, a lot of stormy weathers. They gotta weather a lot of storms. I saw on the news today they was talking about how bad a lot of people weather is, like abroad from us and other countries in Florida and some places here that we don't really identify with, the swampy areas that do flood, and we are aware of it. The news was talking about it, and then they was like, "Oh, I feel so bad about our weather because we're complaining about heavy rain." Like, she was like basically bragging, like saying, like literally, like, I feel bad even like complaining about how heavy the rain is because like everybody else is just like like under the sea, right? So when I first was talking about history, I immediately started talking about Under the Sea, right? I'm like, Under the Sea, the Little Mermaid was Jamaicans. There was never white people with red. The red hair is really those auburn, like probably from like the West Indies. They sometimes they get like auburny, you know what I'm saying? Like hazily and stuff like that. Like a lot of hazel, a lot of auburny color, because it's probably the sun eating up that, because the sun, we talk to the sun. It's the sun, the water talks to our hair. If you want to take the human test, go in the sun for like an hour, like lay in the sun and see what happens to you. With no protection, no nothing. See what happens to you. Now, if you're like in trouble medically, or go in the water, or springe your hair with water, or drench yourself with water. Wait for your hair to react. If your hair is not reacting, like if your hair is not drawing the water up, curling up and drawing the water up, if your hair is not reacting to the elements of the organic world, if your skin is not reacting to the organic elements of the sun, like, you see what I'm saying? You gotta understand if you're having a medical issue with that, with the sun. If your hair is, when your hair gets wet and it's just wet and straight or whatever, it just like doesn't absorb, and your hair doesn't end up dry a little bit. Like, oh, it's a little bit dry now because it's communicating with the organic. So some people, their hair could curl up, but some people hair still be mad wet and curly. So that means you got a little bit like, oh, good for you. Got some organic specimens in you. Great. I'm glad you're getting some curl to your hair, but some people here don't really dry up, and so the water should be like, your hair should be like with the water, we all working together, and the sun should be like. So anyway, some of these Jamaicans, they get all oil burn because the sun does work with us. So if you're gonna be somewhere where the sun is just like licking your skin all day, and it's not good to have more vitamin D than about 20 minutes. So y'all gotta understand that's probably why y'all a little bit attitude-y and rude boy, or like aggressive. Not just, I don't want to say just Caribbean, all of them in West Africa, y'all hot. Y'all hot a little. Y'all be like, even the Indians, they be like, y'all be always wanting to like, y'all a little bit hot and sweaty and aggravated. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you want to be in the sun and get all that vitamin D, it could be everything is moderation. So if you understand that you're getting more than moderation of your share. So I'm not saying it could be harmful, but we already know if you're outside of moderation, yes, it could become harmful. It could be whatever the causes may be. It may make you a little bit angrier out the day. It may not be harmful, but you may be a little bit angrier out the day because like the sun is always, you always got all this vitamin D all up in you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's moderation, and it should be about 20 minutes to an hour. After an hour, 20 minutes is good enough to get the fair amount of vitamin D that the sun provides people that recept it. But yeah, that's a human way. That's a way to do a human test, like an organic human test. But to see if you are responding with the elements. So when I was talking about the Little Mermaid, I'm like, yeah, she's like Jamaican, and he's like like under the sea, and all this stuff. And I'm gonna tell you about the Jamaicans from day one, Jamaican, Japanese, whatever y'all want to. It's all the same people. Technically, it's like just two different versions of Negroes here. Like you know what I'm saying? It's just Adam and Eve. So it's like the Adam and the Eve specimens, the Negro, and it's the Venezuelan Caucasus woman, which is considered people consider her West Indian or whatever. She's from really Venezuela, Grenada, all that area they're coming from. The Eve like descent. So yeah, I forgot what I was saying again. Yeah, so the Little Mermaid is coming out now. They're making this big production, and the little girl that's starring in the Little Mermaid is like technically, if you're actually Jamaican, right? Am I tweaking? So is this not another way of making money off of me? Like I'm not saying that I made up the idea, but technically I've told y'all that the Little Mermaid was originally a West Indian girl, like should have been based off of West Indian people, whatever, like with the Aaron's rod, and Aaron had to pass the rod over to Moses because we were, you know, he had to pass that power over and all kind, but it's a stolen situation going on and all this bad boy, what you want to do situation with them, and it's just I'm just gonna always keep telling y'all because that's what the real story is. It's about the two families or whatever. So anyway, I just felt like that was crazy because I literally was talking about the Little Mermaid and the West End. And now they have this big Disney production making all this money off this girl. Well, she's gonna have her dreads and she's gonna be Little Mermaid. And I was like, see, told y'all. Look at Melanie. Like what was it? Melanie? That was the supposed to have been the original Aaron's daughter name, Melanie, whatever, Trinidadian, whatever they want to call island, Pacific Islander. Melanesian, whatever. So, the Melanesians and whatever. So, yeah, I just felt like they made enough money off of me. They continuously making money off of me. I mentioned that Sean Adams dude. They boom, and that's something. It's just every time I mention something, there's always gonna be something behind it. So I did wanted to talk about also the Whitney Houston movie on Netflix. I don't know if you guys saw the Whitney Houston movie, but I just thought it was weird that they had this girl. She's from Britain too, right? She's of course another British situation going on where they put the British London person in the role of Whitney Houston, which they could have got an American Negro to play, right? But I'm starting to realize a pattern. Excuse me. I'm starting to realize a pattern now where they put. I think these people like remember when I was talking about Drea too. Y'all remember when I was talking about Drea on my mouth is starting to get bad. Remember when I was talking about Drea on P Valley? She's the remember I was like, and then she was some girl named Electronica. I did a video. Remember when I used to do my little edits? I don't do edits no more because that's a lot of work. I could just jump up here and I can still come up here. Edits was a lot, and now I wasn't even good at edits. Maybe if I had some better quality, I could edit better. But when I was doing them little videos before, I had to edit, and it took wow, it was like a 3 day process or a couple days. Something if I really want to get it together, it took a cut like probably 8 hours, like throughout the because you take little breaks. But it was a lot to put like the little videos together. But I did do a video on Drea. Maybe one day I'll do my videos again, but probably when it's an easier way to edit because it's a lot to try to edit and do them side by side. It was a lot. So anyway, and it gotta financially make sense. So if I'm not getting paid for my services, the services will go a little bit down. But I'm still gonna be here. I'm not gonna quit on y'all on the situation. It's not really, this is my situation. So it's a lot of people's situation. A lot of people could relate, but it's my situation as well. Right? I want to get back to the coins, and I'm going to talk about the coins, the social security number, the routing number, the districts. I'm going to get into that. That's next segment. But right now we're gonna talk about Drea, right? So Drea, the girl Electronica was Britain, another British London actor playing a Southerner from Mississippi. When they could have a Southerner play, they had a couple people that looked like they were Southerners or whatever. But I don't know. But anyway, you never know with them. But anyway, so Drea was. I felt like that was Drea 100% in like six like tight mass space where I've been telling y'all they like putting like they literally could just do something right here and have their real face, or they could do something right here and have they. So they could do like they could just put something and have. So you would be like, no, that's a real person when they put in like little things on their face, like clay or whatever, right? And that's what the Bible be talking about, like putting clay, because people was doing like disguises, doing CIA shit, right? And they talk about that in Game of Thrones with the girl with many faces. They were like assassins, and they was put on mad faces. But anyway, so electronica, I felt like she was putting on like a little. I got something in here where they was showing somebody was ripping their hair off, and they was showing like she had a mask on or whatever. Let me see. I'm gonna have to fix my mouth. My mouth is getting chalky. Trying to find this video where she was taking off her bald head, and she was okay. Here it is, right here. Like they was just trying to show you like she wasn't really bald. Yeah, so you can't really see where her bald. You know, it was like right here, and you couldn't even really tell. So it's the same concept with the electric girl, right? So I feel like they get these British people, these British people, right? And they're not real people. That's why they act like they from Britain, because this is the same person from here putting on little whatever, and that's what she did with that character. So remember, I did the video about her, and then the next season they killed her character off. Am I tweaking? Am I bugging? Am I lying or am I flying? I did the video about Drea on that because I didn't watch P Valley first season. So when I watched P Valley, they was already on season 2, and I was starting to watch. I'm like, oh, okay, I never watched season 1, so I watched season 1 and season 2, and did a video. Like, I'm like, yo, this fucking Drea in Face, right? And mind you, around the same time, I followed Drea because I like Drea. I think she a cute girl, whatever. Like, you know. So I do still follow Drea, whatever, on Instagram. And I saw like on her stories, she was like acting like she was doing a movie, and she was like going to ATL, which is where they filmed some of that movie, the show or whatever. And she was acting like she was doing it, and no movie came out around that time. So I felt like that was suspicious too, because I was like, bro, she probably was doing that show, but in that girl character, because she used to be a stripper, so she probably just didn't want to connect to herself because she got children now. She had that second child as well, and she tried to put on like a better mommy persona when she had that. By the time she had the second child, so I feel like she just didn't want to portray herself as a stripper or whatever. But that's where her background comes from. So that was her role. So I know that was her, but she played. On top of that, sometimes people don't want to take your acting serious. So that was another thing that they probably do it for, because they want to be taken serious as like an actor or a rapper, whatever. So, mind you, after I did the video of Drea, the girl Electronica Roll, she gets killed. Well, she don't get killed. I think she's leave. Well, from what they saying, I don't know yet. She's not going to be on the next season. Like she left or something happened at the last season where there's no reason for her to come back. I think she took money or did some shit. But you never know. She might come back or whatever. But from what they saying, she's gone. She's off the show. So I'm not, like, you see, every time I do shit, I shut all that fake shit down. Like, I be blowing them up, bro. But anyway, so now here's another one, right? I done showed y'all J-Lo. She did that shit. I showed y'all Quad. It was mad people. Oh, that guy from, the girl, people showed the girl from Baddies too, the fat one, Rolly. They showed her on another show. She was like on some show acting like she was with her aunt, and her aunt was trying to give her a makeover. And she went by a whole different name, and they said that wasn't even her aunt. Like, they weren't even related. So that's just here to show you that the same girl, Rolly, that's on Baddies, was already an actor. She's already an actress. Talking about she from Newark, she hood, she this and that. But you on Jenny Jones getting a makeover from back in the days. Like, make it make sense. Like, so I'm not saying she can't be from the hood, because these people don't make no money. Like, these people are, like, just from different, they come from different countries, whatever they be here for, they be on a mission. They don't be making much money doing these little side gigs and these side hustles, but that's the way how they make their money until they get the role. Everybody's not going to get, it's a lot of them, and the ones that make it, and the other ones be all jealous. Like, you see how, like, Stunner been trying to be on scene for mad long, because she was trying to get into the Cuban fight. She was trying to get into this fight, and then now she finally got on. Like it's, and sometimes I feel like the shit she got into with Cupid is like you gotta go through these little rituals. So that little thing that she did is why she's even on the show now. You see what I'm trying to say? And same thing with the girl Biggie. They show her with some grown ass men that's supposed to have been dead. That wasn't by no accident. Like that's all stage, straight stage. Like why was Stunner take her phone and show y'all the right before show y'all the dead man? So then the daughter on TikTok trying to find why Biggie was with her dead father. Like I thought this was just too much. I'm like, yo, these people are retarded when it gets to these scripts. Like, and y'all really, really think this is like reality? That's scary that you would think that's reality. Like nothing's set up like that in life. And never this is like action, and then you see her come out of nowhere running. It was like action. It wasn't coming from no real scene. They all was running mad slow. By the time they got to that girl Biggie was hitting her, it was hitting her like this. And she was like, and I was looking like, what the fuck is like y'all, the way y'all chased her? I thought Shorty was gonna be on the ground and it was gonna be people picking her up, slamming her head, and I was gonna be like, oh my god, no, please don't kill her. You don't see shit like that ever with these people fighting, these celebrities fighting. But when in real life, in these hood, in the street and shit, when people be fighting, like most of the time it don't be like that serious. Like some bitches just be pulling hair, scratching, whatever. But some like when they be acting like they gangsters and they like gang related or like no bitches is getting heads banged in the thing, like bitches getting jumped and dragged all over, but like you don't be seeing no real damage happening to nobody. It just be a bunch of scuffling, it be a bunch of grabbing. Like when they do fight, I'm telling you, they all professional actors. They wrestlers, they could be wrestlers, rappers, actors. So they do them little 2 minute fights. It be just like wrestling. It's still an acting gig. They gotta take the gig is you gotta take some punch for 2 minutes. That's the gig. So don't say like, oh, it's a real fight. It's not really a real fight. They know that they're gonna do a 30-second whatever, and they're gonna be pulled apart. They are well aware of that, and it's still an acting gig. Like at the end of the day, with wrestling, it's still an acting gig. Yes, they are interacting, and it's some type of physical shit going on, but they are professionals and they are acting. Okay, you saw Trina Bow Wow. They could be a wrestler. They could be whatever they want. These are Disney born kids or whatever. Like these are gatekeeper people. You see what I'm saying? Like they be acting like they're not. They're regular people, but then they'll all be like, oh, I like with Coy Ray, whatever Coy Ray. I don't know her name. She was saying she grew up with some like Blueface or so, whoever. I'm just like, how all these people grow up together? Like, no, she said she grew up with somebody. I don't know who the fuck she said she grew up with. And I was like, how the hell did she grow up with this person? So we all know that they all live in the same communities, even if they somebody or not. They all end up living in these same communities, and they all trying to get on, and it's all scripted, it's all fake. So yeah, so I was trying to show y'all the Whitney Houston girl, right? So I feel like this British girl is another fake made up actor, and she is she's playing Whitney Houston, right? But it's really she's really, this girl is playing Whitney Houston. This is the girl, right? But I believe that this girl, oh shit, wait a second. I believe this girl is really Brandy, playing the role of Whitney Houston, right? Now, if you look at the two, they are the same exact fucking people, bro. They are the same exact people. And Brandy is playing the role of Whitney Houston. That's the girl that's playing Whitney Houston in the movie. And this is yeah, so now the reason why I think that Brandy didn't want to play herself as Whitney Houston, because it would be weird, because her brother used to mess with Whitney Houston right before Whitney Houston passed away. You know, so-called Ray J was out, being her Capricorn handler, getting her, probably being able to get her the good stuff, and he probably wanted to do some stuff with her, and probably like having a good time. You know what I'm saying? And boom, he probably got her some stuff that was too good, or there's probably weird shit going on with them, right? Because Brandy was like some cool like Whitney's godmother or something like that. I don't know what was going on, to the point where she was messing with Ray J or something like that. And then remember, right before Whitney died, she came in front of Brandy and gave Brandy something or whatever. So it'd be creepy for Brandy to play the role of Whitney Houston because, like, literally Whitney Houston messed with your brother. So that would be weird that you'll play the role of her. But the thing is, that girl looks exactly like Brandy. And when you watch the girl play them in the movie, when you watch the girl play the movie, it's literally like watching Brandy, bro. I'm like, yo, this is Brandy, bro, in mask. This is Brandy in that tight shit that girl just pulled off her head. That girl face looked mad fake. You see what I'm saying? Now, I don't know exactly how it works. I don't know if this girl is a real person. And then Brandy say, hey, I'm gonna steal your name and stuff and say, hey, it's you playing the role because we look so similar. I don't know how it works, or it's just a fake made up person from Britain that we can never. Because if they from Britain, how the hell would we know? We don't know nobody from Britain information to say, is this a real girl? Did she really grow up into here? And did you grow up with her? And of course they're gonna have some weird person come up and not blink like, yes, I was in elementary with her and we ate chips. She shared her candy. Like they're gonna have somebody that don't blink come up and be a crisis actor and say that was her friend and that was her best friend in school. So yeah, whatever. You can't trust nothing that you're watching on TV because it's all entertainment and they all getting paid and it's all a job. And the job is to keep you up to not ask about your money that they all stealing from the original people that's from here. The people that's originally here is old a lot and they keeping us dancing. We dancing machines. We over here dancing. We like to dance. I get that. But at some point, let's get our money first and then get back to the dance floor. Like at the end of the day, they was showing yeah, so that girl is definitely playing the role of Whitney. And I wouldn't be surprised if Whitney and Brandy and some weird shit is going on with them. Like, I don't know. That was weird. It was just that whole situation where she passed and with Brandy and Ray J. It was a whole weird situation anyway. So yeah, so like yeah, let me see. Yeah, so some people were showing the social security card, right? They was talking about the social security card and how it's attached. It's attached to a routing number. Let me see. The social security card is attached to a routing number. Okay, here we go, right here. So they basically saying that your social security number has a letter in the back. So whatever letter is in the back, it leads you to one of these districts, right? So they saying that basically, let me turn it around because I know y'all can't see it like that. Yeah, so basically they're saying that your social security number has a letter in the back, right? Ooh, I gotta wipe my mouth. My mouth is too dry. One moment, let me drink a little bit of soda. Okay, one moment. My bad. Damn, I lost it. My bad. Let me get this together. All right, whatever. So let me try to find the picture again. My bad. Yeah. Anyway, so the back of your social security number is supposed to have a letter, right? And the letter leads you to one of these districts, right? Yeah. So the letter leads you to one of these districts, right? So in my case, right? In my case, the my letter is F, right? So my letter will lead me to Atlanta, which is District 6, right? Because I have mine's end with the letter F. So this would be my district, right? So that would be my district, and then this will be my routing number, right? This right here will be my routing number, right? That's right next to it. So it would be this is my district, and this is my routing number. So whatever this number is right here, right? So they basically said that you could for the bank, right? And I done looked up the bank. I done seen that the bank, my bank, when you go to the Federal Reserve, when you go to the Federal Reserve, right? You go to the Federal Reserve website and I click on my district, which is Atlanta, which is District 6, right? I clicked on that, right? So then that shit tells you exactly what bank your social security number is being worked on. Like your information of your social security number and stuff is inside this bank. So it leads you to this bank, which is on Peach Street or whatever. I don't know. All right, so it leads you to this bank, the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta, and it's located on 1000 P Street. So basically, I would call. I'm gonna most likely try to call them and see if they could explain to me like the information that they may have as far as my social security number goes, because people said that it's like basically the social security number is something that you should be able to like get a line of credit from. If you need to pay, if you're like behind this bill or whatever, you should be able to get a line of credit from your social security number, because they have this social security number in a bank, which as they showed you is tied to the letter that's behind your thing, and that social security card is in that bank. And from what my knowledge is, if you have funds inside of a bank from my social security number, right, that's in the Federal Reserve Bank, if it shouldn't it be building interest on that, because if there's funds being built in here, they could take my money and bid it, which is what they're doing. They're bidding and they're bonding off of the money off that social security card. But when somebody does that, you're supposed to give them interest or a cut, because you're making money off of my money. So technically, if my social security card, somebody said, "Oh, that's what your medicated stuff is for." And I'm like, no, that's not what your medicated stuff is for, because literally you're paying out of your check when you work for all that stuff. They calculate those funds throughout your whole life. They collect the least they collect from people that's just doing the bare minimum. They could collect up to like $500,000 in your lifetime off of what they collect off of the federal taxes. So it's like you're already collecting a shitload of money from me off of the federal taxes. So where is the interest that builds off the money that you're calculating for me? Where's the cut? Because I'm supposed to get some type of cut from that. Because when you open like a checkings or a savings, and you open a savings, if they're saving your money, they're making money off of that, and that's why the savings build like 1% or whatever percent, and you're getting some type of kickback. So I'm not sure exactly how the Social Security works, but if they're calculating funds in a bank, which they are, and they're making some type of interest or money off of the funds that are just calculating for you, where is the percentage of my cut coming from if you're making money off of me like that? So that's the kind of questions that I'm going to be calling in and asking these people. They said that if you want, some people said that they already, I haven't tried it yet, but some people said they already paid like their water bill, certain bills with like their social security number as their account number and using the routing number. You know, when you buy something using your routing number and your account number, they said that you use the district routing number and then you use your social security number as the account number. And a lot of people said they already paid like certain bills. They was like back 3,000 is 3,000, and they use that. So I'm not sure exactly how that works, but I am still looking into that as well, to see how far that will get us. But hopefully we'll still be working. Everybody's still working on how we're trying to get some type of like something. On top of that, I'm not sure if anybody has any plans for as far as voting goes. I wanted to, before I go, because I really don't have much else to talk about. I just wanted to talk about those couple things about my live, a couple little celebrity things, especially with that Whitney Houston stuff, and a little bit of history. But I did want to end it with the video that I posted about the lady talking about you signing these contracts, and that's what's putting you in slavery. And remember I told you guys like the amendment or whatever, the 13th Amendment and all that stuff is the proclamation, the Abraham, when they talk about Abraham in the Bible, It's the same kind of situation that Abraham, the forefather, did. It's the same situation where something happened where we're making a covenant or a covenant or something like that, where we were signing into something and it was taking something away from us that wasn't a good thing. When they were like, "Oh, the proclamation of independence," it wasn't something that was good for us. It was like we were making a deal, and it wasn't us making a deal. It was our forefathers making a deal, right? Which was like John, not George. I don't think it was George, right? It was. I think George is John. I think father is son and son is father. Like it's some type of weird cycle that they keep trying to explain to us about father and son, and I'm really not getting the connection to John and George. I don't know, because it's like father, like son. I don't know if they are the same fucking person or not. Like, it's very difficult to figure out where John and where George fits in at, because John Adams and George Washington are both finding fathers. So I don't know if it's just the father and son both being finding fathers, and that's just the way it works. But I'm just not really. I'm really still confused about that as well with Mount Rushmore, right? But anyway, talking about the lady, how she was explaining the Moors or whatever, right? I've been trying to explain the Moors as well, which it will be landing you in Georgia, right? This is still another play on George, right? It's still another play on George. The Moors is no more than the Moor. Let me see if I could get like a pen, right? Like the Moors is no more than saying like it's another play on words, right? It depends on what descent are you on how you're gonna say it, right? So if you're Spanish, right? If you're Spanish, you might say mer, mer, right? If you was an American Negro, right? A Negro, you might say mar, mar. If you was something else, right? I don't know what else. Maybe like a Frenchman, right? Because it's not much. It's really only English, Spanish, and French, right? Everything else is Babylon, right? And most of everything else is kind of like a French Spanish. It's like, you see what I'm saying? So anyway, it's really like the speaking Spanish. It's like Italian is really like Spanish, like like a dialect of Spanish and a dialect. So you gotta understand that these are not real big languages. It's like a break off. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, so if you're saying it in Spanish, it'd be mer, right? MER. If you're saying it in Negro, right? It'd be MAR. And if you're saying it in French, you might say it as MOR, right? More, right? More or MOOR, right? And if you're saying it in like Babylon, like Indonesia, like Babylon, India, right? You might say mur, like MUR, like mur, like mur. Okay? So I don't know if that made any sense, right? Because my point is that it's still gonna be talking about the same fucking people. That's my point. My point is like people be like, oh, the Moors, the Moors, the Moors. It's like, bro, the Moors is the Mar. It's the same nigga. We still talking about the same people, bro. It's still the same Negroes from America that they are talking about, right? But let me show you. Right. So I'm gonna explain to you the Moors because they are really the people from the back of America, the same Venezuelan, the same scamola people. So like if you're Spanish, like you see the Moors, like they're like, oh, you're a Moor, right? Because the French people, that like I said, the French, Dutch, Jamaican, smoking the blunt, Dutch, like the French, the British Islander, the Pacific Islander, the Lee, right? The something Lee guy, right? That's the same Islander, Jamaica. If you could follow what I'm trying to say, right? He fought with they fought together in the war. The Lee guy and the Washington guy, they together fighting together, man. But the Lee guy led them to slaughter. The Lee guy led them to glory, slaughter. Remember the movie Glory? The Lee guy led them to slaughter, right? But you gotta understand it's the same motherfucking word. Like, but when you over here, you already saw in Manhattan, they had that, they said, oh, the men on Mars, right? The men in Mars. They had it written in Manhattan. You're not going to see more in here. You're going to probably see more here because this is English. This is England. This is England. So you're going to have the English version. You have the marketo, the market, and you have the mosque, like the mosque or whatever they be, the mausoleum on how they have the stuff outside over there in the other countries. They serve outside, but it's all the same stuff. It all means the same shit, right? It all basically means higher learning, higher education, higher self, right? That's what really more the more situation was really about. It's like a and that's why and then it turned into secret sorority somehow. I don't know, like sorcery. You see what I'm saying? But that don't got nothing to do with a lot of Negroes that was getting their education, this and that, and then it's all these people that's like gaining up in like sororities that you gotta pledge for, and then you gotta be hazed, and those people took the more the learning situation. The higher learning more, the more situation is just a higher learning. I'm a better. It just is like if I have a degree, that degree for some reason make people act weird, like, oh, I'm better than you. You see what I'm saying? So it's like I'm a more. I'm a higher education person. I'm a like it's a status somewhat like a more. You see what I'm trying to say? It was more like a status. Like, okay, I achieved more in life. I have a higher learning. A lot of the French when they came over here, they were in our educational systems as well. Like my mother could tell you when she was in school, it was some French women, like, high yellow French women that was working in the schools. You see what I'm saying? The education system. So they were definitely work. They were always here with us, like the Black French and the Negro Southerners and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So they always Negro Southerners are more simple people. We very simple, very fine people, whatever church go people. And the French people are more. They do more. So it's not a shock that the Moors sold us at like the story of the Moors being from because they are Nigerian people coming from here, but they intermix with us, right? And then, of course, we do all this stuff together, the education, the building the home, whether we were together on it or we did a lot of we had our own little thing going on, but they were fancy people. So to bring it up a notch with our hard labor and shit and them doing more directing than being actual participants. This is our land. This is our area. They can't bring they can't bring the whole world over to another whole world. That's bullshit. Like they're not bringing a whole nother world here. Like they gonna bring a certain, just like they do now. They can only bring a certain amount of people when the ticket is open. 30, 40,000, flood them in, whatever. Like, and then they do all this bullshit where we can't notice that they tried to kill us quickly and bring some more fresh meat into the safe zone, right? So anyway, let me see what I was talking about. So yeah, so that's what when she say like, oh, when you say you're like a Moor and this and that, it's just basically saying like you're the original people that was here that was already doing whatever was doing as far as like when the contracts and law, like the levy, that's Haitian, like levy and all like that. That's like Haitian stuff. Like these you could tell the French and these Negroes are heavy in law set because even in the Bible they tell you like we have something, then it'll be like swap. It'll be like, oh, this person is on the council now. This person is they're a color of a swampy color because we're intermixing with these people now and bringing them into our process, what we had going on. And then they brought other people. They brought the ancestry. This is here. In comes the ancestry. Here comes the poor Victorian people. Here come and we so called saving them and this and that. Like I don't know about all that. That's when the New Testament started to fucking happen, and white people don't like to talk about nothing but the New Testament. They don't want to have it. So it's like that's weird. Why is it so uncomfortable for them? So that's just that should be like a point Dexter right there to say, okay, it's because they had nothing to do with the first testament. So why are they so important in the second one if they're not even the originators? Like they're not even a part of the original situation. You see what I'm saying? That's why they don't want to have nothing to do with it. They don't have nothing to do with the first testament because they're like, oh no, because the first testament talk about them like dogs, and they actually call them dogs because they mix with Canaan. They mix with Canaan, and who knows what Canaan did when he got banished after became a murderer. He had to go to the wastelands. He had to go probably to Egypt. He probably had to go to Australia. He probably had to go wherever the fuck he had to go when you become a murderer. Like that's when you see the movies when they put people on all those murderers on islands and stuff like that. They really was doing that in Australia. They really was sending like mad murderers and they couldn't get off the island. They couldn't get off the land and they had to really work but they used to try to run away, whatever like that. So that was happening on islands. It wasn't happening on land because if you really think about it, if they really, really was trying to do what they said they was doing to us, America, especially the South and stuff, is so big. It would be no fucking way they would be able to find us. Like especially Negroes, they could barely find Negroes now with all technology and people snitching for the money. You know what I'm saying? The oh, I found some 15. I need that 1,500. I need that 1,500. Like by tomorrow. He just left. Like you should be at the A train, bum. Yeah, at the train. But yeah, so they not fine. They wasn't finding nobody, tracking nobody, finding all these runaway. Like, is you dumb? You know how Negroes know this land like the back of their hands. Like, there's no way they was holding Negroes. White people was holding Negroes. Like, you know how athletic Negroes are. I be every time I can't wait for the police to bother them so I can watch them. I be like, this nigga gonna run. Like, this nigga about to dust you, bro. Like. So I can't imagine any different now. Like, why would they just be waiting around, letting people violate them? Like, nah, they would have been running and they would have been able to find Negroes like that. Like, it wouldn't have been that hard. And that's why they always had all those paper and all that stuff when they were saying they was trying to find runaway slaves. When you start to really look at all those documents, you could see literally that it was like royal type names. Like it was like they was looking for somebody named James. They was looking like for somebody named this, and I'm like, yo, you can tell these are like the royal people that they was outcasting. You know what I'm saying? Like doing the transition when they would say, oh, this person's a runaway. Bring this guy to me. Da da da. He's worth. If he's a runaway slave, he's not worth that much money. Like they was putting up a big ransom for people, and I was just like, and I understand they probably like, oh no, that's my product, but no, trust me, like a lot of these like so-called runaway, these people that they were trying to bounty and hunt, it just sounded like they was trying to find the royal person or they was trying to get somebody specific, and they was thirsty for these people. Like these, when I can wish I could show y'all everything, but you're gonna have to go back to the stuff that I showed already. I just be just talking. But yeah, I read all those documents. I read when they was the Chinese people was begging for rights when they was here in like the eighth, during like the first World War One. They was over here trying to sneak in here, and we was continuously trying to keep people out of here. But like they were just flooding us. They flooding us from every which way, because we are the only people that live in like the Garden of Eden. Like this is it's a very tight spot, bro. It's a very tight little spot. It's not like the whole world, bro. It's just us, just this little area. That's like really good real estate. It's real good real estate. They make plenty of money off our real estate, and it's our real estate. And that's where their wealth, all their wealth is coming from real estate, and it's our real estate. Like where did they get these homes? They came looking mad dirty in the water sewers, and now they got all this real estate that's from their daddy, and then like this, y'all don't God. That's why they don't, they never gonna live a good life. I'm telling you, because they know that they stole all them homes. They was shooting and murdering and setting fires and setting floods. They were doing all kinds of terrible things to get certain areas and get certain stuff. And they was going for the good stuff. And they was taking out the judges. They was taking the judges out and sitting in them seats, taking their seats. Like it's just crazy what they did. And literally, most of these people are just about dying. Like some of these people are dead, and some of these people are just about dying. Like this ain't happened that long ago. This is like literally mid 1800s, and then it really, really, really started to change New Order after like a good 20, 30 years of them being weird here and trying to figure out how to take over. The takeover actually occurred during the 1900s. That's when like all these wars and it was the Spanish War. Like when you see like history, they talk about the 1500s. They say, "Oh, the Rose War." The Rose War ain't nothing but the same war with the Spanish, the Russian, the Chinese. It's the same wars we've been having in the 1800s. There's no other wars. It's like they'll tell you the same war, and that war will be it leads you to the same Japanese people from the West, like the Rose or whatever that represents the same people from the West side or whatever, right? So it's just one situation that was going on. It's not three consecutive situations from all those years that they were providing you. It's being regurgitated. Um, yeah, so that's all I have today. I don't really have nothing else. Yeah, they were showing how he was eating a cockroach. Like I think he ate a cockroach. You saw how he was like in like he was in the area. he was in this area with these people eating roaches, right? So yeah, that like people were saying they was like, if you could look at the comments, let me show you. Yeah, if you look at the comments, like these people was like, bruh, like him eating a roach ain't nothing. They was like, these people, they be eating. They was like, these people be eating blood. Like they was like, I mean, he was like, I mean, they drink piss and blood. This is light work. So he basically like they eat piss and they drink blood. So like shit, eating a roach ain't nothing. Like he like these people nasty. Then somebody else was like, somebody was like, I know the blood, but they was like shit and piss. They was like, yeah. They was like, they literally dirty. They was like, they literally dirty and nasty, my boy. Like I'm telling you, like people already know. Like no one is slow no more. Everybody know that these people, like if you put one like that, you gotta be literally going through mad, like all the stuff, or you're not even gonna be trusted because the people that are giving these opportunities are the scum, creepy, like the total opposite of what we are. So just like what somebody said one time, they said why God God backwards means dog, right? Because you got to understand that they are mirroring us. They are mirroring us. This America and in Asia are mirroring each other. They're the total. Those people over there are, and I'm not saying every people that live now, because I know somebody said they are from London, right? I'm not saying everybody from London is like these specimen of people. I'm just because a lot of people are from America that was taken to London. We built London up. It was a lot of us people that was taken to the West Indies so they could have more sugar man, more this, more that. They remember they took those people over there to work. So we are the laborers. You have Labor Day here in America, right? So we are the laborers. We literally, and of course, people in South Latin America as well. America, period. We are the laborers. We do the brunt of the work because the resources are really here, and the commerce, the money, the spending is really here. Like we do a lot. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot going on here. It's big money, big spending, big everything here. You see what I'm saying? Especially like Texas, like everything big. You see what I'm saying? Or New York, you know what I'm saying? Everything like fast, everything moves fast, fast money. So, I forgot what I was saying. I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, so I don't know. Where was I at with this point that I was trying to make? Oh yeah, him eating roaches. So yeah, so they already know that these people are different, right? So anyway, somebody said why God reflects dogs. So anyway, because we're mirroring them, right? So that's what it means. Like it's a mirroring. So it's God, and then it's dogs. You know what I'm saying? Like who let the dogs out? And that's Australia, Oshishina. That's the same people that came upon us. The Nigerian culture. These are the same people that came upon us. And came to see the people that never went past the equator, that listened, God's people, angels. They came back. It was like, yeah. So that's that, and yeah. So that's really all I have, and then of course the dog thing as well. You know that people with their teeth, like if you really pay attention, sometimes people think it's vampire teeth, but it's really like canine teeth. And this is what Canaan when he went across and made ham whatever hamsters or whatever. Because they love pork. They eat some pork. The people over there came and all they eat a lot of pork because he brought them over, and then there's an intermix. So that's why y'all like so much pork, because those are the Hamites that however Canaan, whatever they did as far as the same thing with Mount Sinai. It's the artificial insemination. That's all it means. When they went over there in the wastelands, some type of artificial insemination is occurring. And that's why everybody believes that they deserve a piece of the pie at some point. But some people are not real specimens, and then some people are mixed with whatever they did as far as doing dangerous experiments. You see? And that's just that. Like, it was a lot of experimenting going on because, first of all, these people wanted to get an army, and that's exactly what China is right now. It's a big job. I've been telling y'all this from day one, and they showing y'all how big the army is now, right? Then they show y'all how they doing all these little tricks, and they walking together, and they kicking together and they doing cartwheels together. It's like a million of them doing it all in unisex together, like doing a car. So yeah, they've been building this army from day one. This was the whole plan of them even being here. Okay, so it was a creation. That's why they believe in Zeus and all that, because they know they are man made. You know what I'm saying? And not organically, naturally selected. It was forced. Okay, just like some people be rapists, like they portray them as rapists. It's like a force. It's like an enforcement of not. They're not going to be nothing like us. You know what I'm saying? And not respecting authority and things like that. So it's just going to be the total opposite of God, and total opposite of godly like is being a dog, like you being a nasty ass dog, like you running all around, you acting all wild, you licking your butt, you like, you know what I'm saying, you out of control like an animal. You know what I'm saying? The animal kingdom. Like it's not that hard to really understand. It's not that hard to really like follow it and to follow the story. And that's why they try to change it all up. Like, oh no, no, because some of these Negroes like us. Like, okay, and like, if some of us got children, all right, well, send the kids, and I advise you to stay where you from. But whatever, if she comes, if they come, or she comes, or like what, it's whatever. Because then they start setting shop up. It don't never be them mixing with us, and then they keep mixing. No, it be just next thing you know, they white again. Like how you became white again? I thought you had a kid with a black person, and then now you're white again. Like they trick you. They would trick. Then there's like white people that you could tell they had like some type of black person in their family because they have like built-in tans. Like you could tell if they have some type of built-in tan that you got some type of Negro in you somewhere, because naturally you would not have no type of tanning to your skin, your skin texture. But anyway, that's beside the point. That's that passive for white stuff where pale people were passing saying they're white when they probably had a Southern Negro great great grandparent or whatever, and they was in here in Boston and over in here acting like they was full white when they had a Negro, for sure Southern Negro mammy or whatever, and then wanted to continue on passing as white, act like they Italian or something, and they really would just had a little Negro in it and trying to dilute it out. So they act like, oh, I look like I'm Italian, or had to. No, that's Negro in you, bro. But whatever. Or some people they mix with, the darker ones that went over this way, but they don't. It's not the same. They don't make the same kind of people. But anyway, that's beside the point. I don't want to get into features because you'll be here forever trying to get into features. But features will land you certain places. Unfortunately, features will land you certain places. Even if you were born somewhere. If I was born in China with these features, nobody in China would care that I'm telling them I'm Chinese. They're going to continue to feel like I'm a Negro no matter how much I say I was born in Hong Kong. I'm from China. I am Chinese. And I can say it in Chinese and they'll still be looking like, how you learn? How you learn how to speak Chinese? How you learn? Nigga, I was born here. Oh, okay. Your mother, how? Then they'll probably want to know your family. And of course, my family eventually would not be from there. You know what I'm saying? So it be people be saying stuff and it's like common sense. If your features gonna lead you there, it's no going around that. So that's a key point of figuring out where you maybe not you, but where your other people's is from. You know what I'm saying? It may not be directly you, but other people might be from there and came some type of way down. And usually they know. A lot of people know when they're from somewhere, because the stories it don't be that far away. It'd be like your grandparent or your great grandparent, and usually great great they never get into great great great. They can't never prove that. They're never gonna get to that second. Like I got to my great, isn't my great my grandmother, my great grandmother, my great great grandmother. Yeah, that's my second great great grandmother. Sorry, it's my great 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 grandmother. And when you look at my great 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 grandparents, you could tell that they don't have any like real like outsourced features. Their features really land them in. He looked like a brown skinned nigga and a fair skin. That's how they really look at. Like the men were like a little brown and women used to be fair, and it could be vice versa or whatever. But it usually be in that range. As they give you, that's where like so called the brown paper bag rule comes from. Like can't be no darker than a brown paper bag. When you get darker than a brown paper bag, then you not nine times out of ten it's possibly that you could be a little bit mixed, or some. And it's not saying from French. It could be just from, because mind you, these people originally come from South. These are just people that went past this way. So you gotta understand that you could just be mixed with somebody just a darker of coming from the Spanish side, not from Africa, the French side. You see what I'm saying? So it just really depends on where your darker skin comes from. So you could be a dark red looking like tree color, which means that you still in America probably just swapped Spanish black, right? Like an Ecuadorian or whatever, like Ecuador Spanish black people, or whatever, or Venezuela, in that area, Grenada, these are darker Spanish, black, Caribbean, Western people, Spanish people. So you could be mixed with that, or you could be mixed with French. It could be also French, but they give more like a drier. You won't really have like a red oily look. You'll have like a more drier, darker black, and that's where they get the concept of black from. Because some of these people do could turn to a black color. Some of these people really do turn to black. People are like, oh, people not black. Some people are that color. Like some people are that dark, and some people are that white. Some people do have ghostly looking skin color. Ghost, ghastly looking skin color. Ghouls and goblins. Goosebumps. Bunch of herpes. Oh my god. Before I go. Yeah, and they over here giving us chicken pox and shit. Making us itch. Giving us hives. You know what I'm saying? Always making us irritated. Because putting all this shit in our food. Giving us hives. Giving us allergies. So they can have enough food for themselves. Now that they slowing production down because they're trying to bring things back to the original organic ways things to happen, you're starting to see like some of the fruit is a little bit bigger. It's not as small, like and it's like look like it's more organic more now. Just I don't see. I don't know. I ain't gonna be able to find nothing in here. Yeah, I was trying to find this guy lip. The Sean Adams dude, he had a herpes on his lip, and I'm like, yo, everybody got a fucking herpes on their lip that's in the industry. Like, what type of weird shit is that? Oh, and just like I want to say, like how Mary Poppins as well. You know how like they talk about how Mary Poppins, mind you, this lady was in New York. Remember, like the whole scene was of her being in Central Park, right? When she was with the guy in this scene, and he was doing a drawing in the park. Wasn't they supposed to be in Central Park or whatever in Manhattan? So mind you, just off the name Mary Poppins, like Mary, she pop or whatever. And I know y'all probably look like hell no, they ain't, but that's probably what they really is probably saying, like Mary is popping, like she lit. And then she was famous for the song a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. So that's the same thing like Mary and Cain, like or Adam and Eve and Eve's first son Cain and Mary and her first son Jesus. It's the same thing like a spoonful of sugar just so happened to be the big song of the Mary Poppins song. And this is some nice lady that gives structure, teaches your bad kids to stop, your white bad European kids to stop being so bad. And she's like, come and be the nanny and this and that. And I just don't think that was by accident. But they'll give you this white lady, but most likely this is probably a spin off of somebody else, like giving you the Mary and a spoonful of sugar, the sugar cane. This sounds like people. This probably could have been a role for a Negro or a woman, probably West Indian descent, whatever, whichever way you want to spin it. Like that may be more of a nanny, a nursing, trying to teach your kids some manners because they're so bad, they're so unruly, whatever the case may be. They call them hillbilly, sewer, swamp, all kinds of names, right? These people that come over here acting like that, and then they have the nerve to act like they royalty, they this and that. And that's why I was always concerned, like why I was like, why does the British people and the English people always show us their weddings? Like in America, I'm like, what does America got to do with that, right? So I used to always think like, oh, because it's like a lot of white people from there. These European people come from there, and they probably showing it to them if they want to see it. Because I know no Negro really watched any of these people, right? Except probably the black girl that got married. Other than that, nobody watched William and all them other people get married. We ain't watched them. And on top of the girls they marry ain't royals because those people aren't royals. They're fakes and they can't find no royals to marry because they're gonna have to marry probably the black girl. I think she probably more royal than the white girls that they were marrying, the European girls that they were marrying. But anyway, so I'm like, why do they keep showing us these people with waves? We don't care about them at all, at all. And look at Harry with the red hair. These are Russians. red hair, balding head, Willie with his bald head. They not handsome. They not good looking people. They act like they the royalty. They the wealth. They the good looking. They not. They weren't ugly people. When they were younger, they were good looking. But the thing about some people that's from like different cultures, y'all age badly because y'all don't work well with the elements of the world. And the elements of the world keep you fresh and young. So you understand, if you're not taking in good sun, you 9 times out of 10 might not be taking in good oxygen either. And oxygen is for your skin. So all the wrinkles is probably coming from you not even being receptive to oxygen. You gotta really think about why those things occur for y'all. So anyway, they don't age really well. So yeah, Harry and Homeboy don't look that good right now. But well, before it was alright, but now it's like, especially William, like he looks very bad. Like you can tell he's not mixed with anything. And Harry might be mixed with a little something because look how red he is. You know what I'm saying? So he might be next to the blue. Might have a little African. Got the ancestors trying to pop out on him. Right? You know what I'm saying? Or that red hair. So I just was like, okay. So now I see why they were showing us all that stuff. Now I see why they were showing us all that stuff. Because it was literally, this is like, it literally probably was something that they saw that originally was happening here. Like I said, because we had big weddings. People already know that it's like a lot of, in America, of course, we really like matrimony and weddings. In Europe, a lot of people believe in like poly and, not believing in really anything traditional like that of being in one matrimony for the rest. A lot of those people don't really, it's not really a thing for them. Like as it is in America, especially for like Negroes and stuff, like we trying to find a husband and this and that. So this is like a big thing for us, right? So it's just like, now I get why they're showing us this, because this is probably something that they saw and was like, and I know they didn't get that from Africa, right? Because like, come on, like Africa with the, like whatever they do over there with their ceremonies, is like, they're mimicking shit that we do. All we know is stuff like that over here. So we know that we do that here. And they don't do that everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, that's why they're showing us this shit. Because it's stolen. This is something that we do. And this is them trying to just keep the tradition because they stole the tradition. And they got to keep doing it. They got to keep doing the royal tradition of what the royals did, which is, be the face and whatever else they do. As far as inheriting the inheritance of all those structures, because that's coming from the family line of, or the Vanderbilt and all those things. Those is coming from the family bloodline, so they get to, enjoy all that stolen infrastructure. So anyway, yeah, that's all I really have. So we already know what we up against. We up against this kind of stuff. I already told y'all I told y'all they was all witches and stuff like that, man. They said Shorty had like some type of juju doll. She has some type of voodoo doll. And everybody's all scared now. And I'm like, bro, they all do. They all do. I told y'all these. I told y'all my own voodoo story where people put voodoo on me. You can't play with them. They put voodoo on you immediately, bro. They walk around with that shit and just put that shit over your head like, ay, 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 achoo, hey, ay, ay, ay. And then boom, that shit be on you and you didn't even know that all this stupid shit was going to be happening. And it's like, bruh. And then the lady was calling me. I think the lady was calling me to see if I was still alive or like if I still had on my hair, or because I'm trying to think she did like a thing on my hair. They collect your hair and shit like that. And I'm not even going to explain to people about what happened. Like, it's a long story. So trust me, people put voodoo on you. People will put voodoo on you. People will put fucking voodoo. If these people, like, people put fucking voodoo on you. I don't believe in it, but it don't mean that they don't believe in it. It don't mean that ain't shit gonna happen to you, because if they believe in it hard enough and they doing all this wild shit and cutting their fucking blood into it, like, you really think you not believing it, and they went through all that energy to something might happen or whatever they wish on you might happen, because they put all that energy into wanting that to happen to you. That's how, and they willing to sacrifice some dumb shit for them, that something that happened to them, because you're not supposed to do that shit. That's why it's called black magic. And then imagine when they had us like, oh, black girl magic. Remember when they was like, oh, black girl magic on BET? These people are evil, bro. They corrupt as hell. They know that black magic is the same equivalent as that juju. And that the same shit with the Chinese, when they call it jinn. They call it jinn or something like that. It's all the same shit. It's like it's like calling demons and shit like that. Calling out demons, doing some type of spiritual whack shit. Same way we spiritual and positive with God and all that, they do the opposite. You gotta understand they are. So they, unfortunately, the thing is like, right, they believe that they are the opposite. They have to do the opposite of what you're doing. So don't think for one second you're like, oh, why? Because this is, they believe that that's their existence. Just like our existence is to do what we're doing, their existence is to mirror and do the total fucking reverse of what we got going on here. And most likely by nature, because naturally everything needs a yin and a yang. Everything needs a good and a bad, a positive and a negative charge. Unfortunately, everything needs an in and an output. So yes, like this is what's going on with humans as well. It's all around nature. It's just the way it's working. It's the food chain and the humans gain chain. Like at the end of the day, they it's the same thing as the food chain in the kingdom, and they're coming from the kingdom. You got to think of like with like what do they call it? Tar. They said something right. Something tar. Oh, Ishtar, like Ishtar, right? I said, look how because they said, oh, she was like the very beginning or whatever, Ishtar. But I'm like, if you look at the word Ishtar, if you put it backwards, because it's Ish and then it's Tar, then you're gonna get Tar-ish, like Tartarian, like Tartarian-ish, like Ishtar is like Tar-ish, like this is definitely putting you in Tartarian, and Ishtar is probably coming from a Tartarian perspective. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you really start to dissect the words, they literally give you where it comes from, because that's how words are like definitions of where its origin from. So sometimes you gotta break down the syllables to see where these words are originating from, and you could kind of get an idea of where it might be coming, like maybe coming from this part of the world, that part of the world, like things that ends in vowels. We know it's coming from Italy, right? Like anything that's ending in a vowel or something. So anyway, that's all I really had today. Let me get out of here. I didn't really want to be up here for too long. It is Sunday. I know everybody got to get up. I hope everyone has, a great week. I know my week is going to be long, but I'm going to push through until we figure out how to get this money back or get this slave contract better than what the fuck it is. And just like the lady said, when you sign this and you sign that, we're literally slaves now. So literally everything the lady said in the video is like the more educated version of what I be saying. And most of my stuff isn't as educated because some people can't even understand stuff on the level of book text talk. So sometimes I like to be the barrier, the Pocahontas of it all, and be able to speak on both halves of the people that like to speak a little bit like, where you can understand the word, what's the word, and put a little slang towards what is trying to be explained. So hopefully some people that's more younger could be like, oh, that's what these old people trying to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, or whatever. So I just kind of be like the barrier of like some people that be like, oh, this is boring. What is this lady really trying to explain? And it's like, because she's saying a lot of big words and a lot of big legal termination, legal terms and things like that. So I just try to like break it down a little bit of like what I took out of it and then put it in my words of people like me that would be like, oh, now I see what she's saying. Because some of us speak a little bit, they will call it, like ghetto. But this is like we have a way with English where we talk like it sounds ignorant, but it's more of a southern drawn. Like Southerners talk like they have an accent, but they talk like me, but I talk without the accent. Like we still talk like this, and we skip words and we talk like these. It sounds. And then the more southerner you get, the more the words change until it start to turn French or Spanish. You see what I'm saying? Like so, the dialect of the words kind of like we get tongue tied a little bit. But yeah, so I just try to put it in a language that more people may help some people. You know what I'm saying? May help some people get a better understanding of what we really trying to explain here, of what we feel like we are owed, and what we feel like what was taken, and how the story is told, but it don't add up. It ain't adding up. It's not mathing, and everything is mathematical. Everything is an equation. Everything is an equal. Everything is a yin and a yang. It has to be a medium. It has to be a equation. What you do on this side, you have to do on that side. It has to equal out. It has to make sense. So yeah, that's all I really have. I want to find the picture of that boy, the guy, he had his mouth, bro. Like you just gotta be careful because it seems like all of them. It seems like all of them have it, right? And it's like a bad case. It's like a real bad case on their mouth, and it's like, bro, like where did that even come from? And it's like because they probably gotta get that to get. I feel like they gotta do stuff with nasty. Oh, here we go, right here. They gotta do stuff with nasty people. You know what I'm saying to get on. In my opinion, they gotta do stuff with nasty people to get on. Now look at this. This is the new young pharaoh, and you know he said this is what he said. I couldn't remember. He said, "Oh, I said that. No. Oh, you know why that's important?" Or so you know he said some shit like that. How young pharaoh be like, "I said that." To say this or some shit like that. He be saying that same line, right? They use the same line because they being taught by this. He got the new script. So he got the script now and he's using the same lines as young Pharaoh because now he got the juice. You see what I'm saying? They gave him the podium to see if he could draw people in. But look at this, look what he got there, right? And then somebody gonna say, like, I knew I wasn't bugging, bro. So somebody gonna say, they gonna say, does he have bumps on his lips or am I tripping? No, somebody said he does. And then what the fuck? Why isn't us focusing? Then they said probably got herpes. Let me wait a second. Why is it not focusing? What the fuck is going on? Why is it shining like that? Yeah, and they said he probably got herpes. This is annoying. It said he probably got herpes from one of his queens, which means everyone got the herpes. All right. So yeah, I like just wanted to show you that I don't think it's a coincidence that all of them keep having. It's like obvious that that's the herpes because when you have a bump sore, you can have a sore like right out of your lip, but once it's on the lip line or on the lip, that's a herpes. There's no going around it. Or a cold sore, which is a less case scenario of the herpes, which means that you may not have as many flare ups. It may be based on like the weather more than a flare up. But anyway, I don't really know the difference of it all. But I know one of my teachers was telling us that it's basically the same shit. But anyway, I think they all got it because that's how they got to get on, and I think that they all know that they're getting affected with it too, and this is why I don't play with celebrities and stuff like that because I think that they know that they're giving it to people when they be all acting like, oh, we look, you want to be with a celebrity so bad, and they playing games like this, knowing that they causing health issues out because they want you to be on medication, they want you to be on, you see what I'm saying? So yes, they're gonna put their best contenders out to spread the message, to spread the joy. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, just be careful, bro. And yeah, and also her too. She's the girl. She was with Mayweather, and then she was with Nelly or whatever. Um, I her name is something. What her name is? Something Jackson. I forget her first name. I saw her before I met her. I didn't met her like really. I didn't come up next to her, but I was in like Vegas airport, and she was going somewhere. She was in the airport, and I spoke to her, whatever, and I was telling her like, I like her. She's mad cool, whatever. She was really nice. She was speaking to me. She acted like she wanted to take pictures and stuff, but I didn't really want to take pictures. I don't know why. Like tell you the truth, yeah. Anyway, what I was saying about her though, what was I saying about her was like, see how she got the purse that says Coke. And it doesn't even say like Coca-Cola. Like shit just says Coke. Like the shit just like it should just say Coke. Like niggas is just doing Coke. You know what I'm saying? Like so I told y'all they not even hiding it no more. Like they not even hiding it. see how like they got all like the young celebrities and the young kids and TikTok and stuff going like this. Like they got so they're just like very going hard about like letting people know, like I told y'all from jump, that they all hopped up. They all hopped up on coke. All the bosses, these people, if they are part of, most likely they on coke. Like trust me, these people taking coke. But yeah, but I saw her in the what you call it. And I spoke to her, I was like, oh hi, because whatever. And she was really nice, but I was with like a guy. So I was like, girl, you ain't gonna be like taking pictures with the guy I was with. So, I was just like, okay, cute girl, like keep it moving, cutie, because she looked really pretty or whatever. So I was like, oh no, I said hi to her, and she was thinking she was doing too much. And I was looking like, okay, because I was with a guy and I thought she was doing a lot. She was doing a lot. It was like she wanted to take pictures with us, like, oh, you want to take a picture with me? And she looked at like she was like, she had everything sitting up and she had a little jumpsuit on, but I was like, no, but I was like, I like you, girl, but go ahead, you go on and do what you was doing. And you have a good old time in Vegas or whatever. Like I'm about to go do what I'm doing. Like anyway, but yeah, she was a nice lady and she was super sweet in person. But I was just like, girl, okay, keep it moving. But anyway, yeah, they making it obvious. They not hiding it. That's what they do. Most likely, if you in that game, you're like beyond it on all of them. You see how when they get older, they all be getting off fat because they don't be taking the coke like that. They don't be on that all them drugs and adrenochrome and all that stuff. Allegedly, they don't be on all that stuff no more. So like Nicki Minaj, all them get all fat. They be gaining mad weight, and it's like, oh, you think, oh, because they getting older. Like, no, I think they're not taking that much drugs like when they was first on, they was getting, these people be on, like, you be thinking, like, is they sex slaves for real? I can't confirm it, but trust me, look how all these people starting to come out talking, like, oh, boy, like, all these stories and all this stuff. It's always the same shit I told you from day one. Sex slaves, coke, this, that, like all of it. Always, I told you from day one. I said, bro, I was around them. These people are thieves and con artists, bro. Like most of these people don't be having nothing. They be sharing shit, and I'm not even gonna explain how much of the level of fake it till you make it, and they never make it because they just all got to stay in their position. They don't want people to, like, I don't know. I'm going to just leave it alone because it's hard to explain. And there's so many levels of people being desperate to be a part of that side of the field that is crazy. It's not that. And then you got to literally be desperate. Like, if they a part of that field, that means they were desperate. They probably got a herpes. So they probably got a herpes sore. They probably got a bunch of stuff going on because it's like, how did you even get to here? Because I had to say no to a lot of stuff and I couldn't get nowhere. Can't get nowhere. Yeah, I say yes to a lot of, like Little Baby. Little Baby said he was saying yes to everything, and then he got people buying him gifts. He got niggas buying him gifts. No, let me stop. Little Baby got niggas buying him gifts because he never say no. So, and if I say no a lot, you see why I'm up here. Nobody likes me. Like, nobody F's with me. And just like a Capricorn, we just gonna make our own, I make my own show. I make my own stuff. I do what I want to do. I ain't listening to none of that. So anyway, I'm gonna get off here, but I'm gonna come back. I still want to talk about history. I still got we're gonna talk about the Amsterdam, and you see how it says Dutch West Indie. You see how it says Dutch West Indie. I'm gonna come back and talk about Amsterdam. And where these people were from, and what, like these white, wherever these people, these Victorian, these, Muslimic, Indian, Arab, whatever these people are, like, most of these people are like, Albanians or whatever, like, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna come back and talk about them and show you how they're directly related to the Dutch West Indians, the Dutch West Indies. And mind you, where is the West Indies at? Where is the West Indies? Where is the West Indies? In Central America, Dutch. I told y'all they come from. It's always been the East End. When the East End, they gave it to them people. They took it and gave it to them people. Like they took our birthright and gave it to somebody else. Like fuck y'all, because they didn't want to be number two. Aaron had to give that rod up to Moses. You know what I'm saying? Jesus took over once they intermixed. And Mary had that. Mary Poppins had that sugar cane. It was a wrap. Everything went to him. So that was a problem, and that was the issue. So anyway, I'm gonna try to keep explaining it. Hopefully, I can have a better setup where I can start to really like show y'all the map and geography, and probably show you some key notes on what they talk about, where it could back up what I say in text. I could try to find some texts and some sources. But yeah, I'm about to get out of here. It's been cool. I'm glad I didn't really see the chat much because when I get set up, I'm gonna be more closer. I'm not close because this laptop and the leveling, I can't. So this is what I came up with. But hopefully, I can have a better setup where I can literally read y'all comments as it comes out. I won't be so far away. But I need a better setup in this. Yeah. So thank you whoever stayed the long haul with me. I got so much love for you guys. Whoever was here from the top, you know what I'm saying, is still here with me. Hey, what happened? Okay. And whoever is still here that came later, Latoya Stewart, I see you a lot because I remember that name, that historic name. Mariah, thank you for being here, Mariah. We are here through America. You're still absolutely that's number one. The whole America is number one. Then it starts to a lot of things happen. It could be just carbon copy type people just moving out to other areas where the geography changes their thing. But then there's some things that happen where there's um people were experimenting. It's stuff like that was going on, but it's not nobody from America. As I told you, South America, when you take the war, it takes you to Australia, and that's where you get them Aborigines and the ones with the sharp teeth, and then you got the darker. That's when you get the Melanesians. That's when things start to occur. When it gets over to that Ultrashina area, they come back storming past that Bering Strait, trying to jump us full circle. But anyway, Ariel means Lion of God. Okay. So like I said, with the Little Mermaid situation, that was more like the Water Kingdom. So we're talking more like the islands. We're talking more like Alaska and areas where there's more water. But then they had to remember that when Homegirl was looking for a man on land, she was looking for a prince on land. You know what I'm saying? Then they ended up together and had a kid. And part two, they had a kid. Now, like I think it was like Melanie or whatever. Like I can't remember exactly. But anyway, it's just the same stories. Edinburgh is Scotland. Yeah, but Edinburgh is in Scotland, like in Scotland. Edinburgh is Scotland, like in Scot, like Scot, which is more here in America, like going to Canada, like Nova Scotia, like Nova Scot. Scotland is not the original land. That's Highlanders. There are highlands. We're lowlanders. We're on flat land, and this is the primary state. Like this is it. These are the real estates. Everything else is on like a hill, on like a That's why you see like in Brazil or on them or Mexico, they be all built out on hills. They not flat land like us. They don't got a whole bunch of flat land. It's a bunch of hills, bro. Even going towards like the West California, bunch of hills. These niggas be on hilltops. They be on mountains. They be on like Italians. To tell you, the Italians are the original cavemen. The people, the Brazilian people back there, they be building in mountains and caves. Those are mountains they building on. Like they be building their cribs in mountains and shit. But anyway, yeah, we got a whole different setup here. But Edinburgh, Scotland, you gotta remember, they want you to think it's over there, but it's here. Look up Edinburgh. There's no Edinburgh, I believe in Scotland, right? Or whatever. It probably is, but there's a lot of Edinburgh here. And it's within the 13 it's in the triangular, which is the from the east to the Midwest, going towards like Texas. Like once you start getting out of Texas, it starts to get iffy on if we even did. That's what I was talking about with Montel Williams, where he was talking about South Central, because it's like it's Central America. Like they're in the south of Central America, so you got to think the North Central would be more towards going past Mexico, like where they found some big head people in the waters, because mind you, the waters went up, and that's why at one point, Panama and all that stuff, it wasn't even land. Where it was you couldn't even cross at some point because the waters rose up. So Panama and all that was not even livable at some point. And those people from South America couldn't cross over at some point until the waters went back down. Um, yeah, so I don't know what I'm talking about, but anyway, so yeah, so like with South Central, you gotta think that if that's North Central, that the west side is considered central. Like it's not really considered the North yet. You're not really in the north of America yet. When you're in that part. And that makes sense because that's why Hollywood is in California and the CIA and Hollywood is all in California because that is like literally Central America. It's the south of it's the border. It's the southwest borderline. It's the border. That's the border. You know what I'm saying? With that Trump wants us to put a wall up, but we need to put a wall up on the border over there. The border going to the Bering Strait in Alaska. We need to put a border up on by Washington, Canada, all up that line. We need to put a border up everything, but what could you do? So anyway, yeah, let me finish the comments and I'll be done. So this is a this is a shield page. Always me. Make sure you pop out when I have the link because I would love to talk to you. I would always love to talk to you, me. Always me. Anyway, because I don't even know what the fuck a shill means. So you could tell you probably some punk ass person that be in the crib all day talking about some fucking shill. Like, and I'm the type of person that come outside. Okay? And yeah, pop out when I had the link. So yeah, so am I on Instagram? Yes, please. I am on Instagram. Let me pull that out because I do need some more people on my Instagram and on my TikTok. So yes, come in, come one, come all. Pop out. Uh, yeah, I'm about done. I feel like I've been sitting up here forever. Let me see. Let me reverse it. Let me flip it. Okay, yeah, I'm on Instagram for police and for whoever else wants to pop out. It's number one eye candy. Cause yeah, um, America is number one. I'm a part of that. I am number one. I am a part of Mary and Cain. I am a descendant of Mary Cain. I am. I believe the A. I believe the A stands for Adam, like America, like American, like America. You know, like Adam, Mary, and Cain. Like they put all three of them together, making America. But it's just my opinion on just playing with the words. It could be possible because it's always about the father, son, and the mother. It's always about the family, about the father, the son, and the child. That's what everything. And as far as America goes, that's what we are practicing. The father, the father, the son, and the child, and the relationship of the father and the son, and the relationship of the mother and the son, and the relationship of you know just the family first type, oriented type stuff, like staying together, as a union and this and that. That was all most likely we were doing at some point before they turned it into a bunch of other shit. But anyway, that's my Instagram and also my TikTok, just in case. Is I changed my name to Candice Michelle Views because most likely I'm going to try to start doing some type of videos on here. I'm gonna try to start doing some lives on there because you can get more views on TikTok. So hopefully I can try to start getting up on there because TikTok seems like they let people, get a lot of views until you do something they don't like and then they look like they shadow banned. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's all I have. Let me see if there's anything else. Okay, hey DC Hodge, what's up? Starfish 508, haha, love it, sis. Yeah, what's up? I just be up here kicking it. I be liking the fact that people will come up in the chat and could hang out together and with me because I definitely, as you can see, read all the comments and I do try to answer it. Hopefully, I could get better at the timing, but I do read all the comments before I go. Yeah, so Starfish 508, they not real, they're not real, get brazy out here, peace. I don't know what that means. Michigan weather isn't bad. Yeah, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. You're in a good spot. Um, ingenious. Peace Queen. Hey, what's up? No, and that's the thing where they set you up. I'm not sure exactly what. I don't know if you talking to somebody in the chat. That's what they're saying. If you go far enough back, we're all related. Oh yeah, well, that's the whole point of the Bible story. The Bible is basically saying that y'all all coming from Adam, this specimen of this supposedly Negro man. Everybody's supposed to be. He's supposed to have sold his royal oats all over, and yeah, that's it all comes down. But at the end of the day, it is a lot of stuff going on. It is a lot of stuff going on. It's these people that do this, the people that do the coke, they a lot of these people they consider themselves they be in a laboratory a lot, right? Don't they always end up in a laboratory? These scientists they're in laboratories, right? So when people do coke, like when they're in the club, a lot of those people they say, "Oh, I'm going to the laboratory to powder my nose." A lot of these people go. The laboratory is like the bathroom to them, and they go to the bathroom. They literally go do coke in there. So I want to see how people could really believe anything a scientist says when they're in the laboratory conducting a bunch of series of like trials and stuff to come to these conclusions of how to even get answers for shit. You know what I'm saying? They do all these trials whatever in laboratories, and you know when they're in the club, they say, "Hey, I'm gonna go to the laboratory to powder my nose." Like I don't understand how you can't put two and two together. They in there doing coke. They don't know what the fuck they probably putting monkey and bat shit in people DNA. They probably putting monkey bat shit in people DNA coming out with bat feet and Bigfoot. I don't know what making Wendy Williams. I don't know what the fuck they doing, bro. I'm telling y'all, if y'all don't think these people in laboratories doing weird shit, they over there putting makeup on monkeys and shit. Like, oh, we gotta test it on the animals first, like to make sure it don't kill the humans. Like they're in there doing mad weird shit. They in the laboratories doing mad coke. If you ask me, because that they insinuate the laboratory where they do their coke, where they powder their nose at. So I don't know if you think everybody is human. That could be, but it's a lot of human kinds, and they tell you that it's a lot of human kinds. So they could be human, but there's different kinds. Um. Yeah. So Starfish said, "I agree with you. You're responsible." Okay, I didn't know which way you was going with me, but okay, I'm glad you mess with me because I was like, what? Like I don't know where you was going. Like if you was like saying like to me, but yeah. So Mrs. Snitty, hey, thank you for being here. I'm from Africa now. Very true. They look up to Americans very much. I know, like like no one has any issue with Africans. I believe that the West Africans are from South America, and the South American people are from North America. You know what I'm saying? So they just give you the story backwards. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of you people got taken over there, and it, of course for labor. And what you guys did over there is the same situation that happened to us over here, where y'all, you know, Negroes are building and being the brunt of the labor, and still is the brunt of the labor. And they got the weaker people that are naturally weak in resource and weaken, you know, they don't have much where they origin from, they don't have nothing to bargain with. Like we're not really into what they have, and so they don't have much. So they gotta take things with force, they gotta do all these things. It's in the survival of the fittest, it starts to become an animal kingdom. And I don't blame the wow stuff on Africans more than I would blame it on Chinese, Indian, uh Albanian, which is like Jewish, Muslim, Arab, you know, Albanian, which is like could become Italian, you know, I would Italian is more like I don't know. I think they more Negro based. They because of that olive oil stuff. You know, I think they more Negro based. That's where they get the olive oil concept from. But you know, what do I know? I don't know everything. But anyway, I know that it's close to that. But yeah, we do respect African people, but we just got to understand that at some point, the story that they gave us is not true. That's the only beef we have. The only beef we have is the story they provided us was just to rob us. So I'm not gonna say, "Oh, I'm not at this, I'm not at." It's not about us not being that. It's about when you try to put that story that you gave us, it takes away a lot belongs to us inherently, blood right, like this. And so we can't take that story, and that's the problem. And then some Africans put fire on the Greece when they come over here and try to tell us what they telling us, and they can't even speak clear English. They don't know they don't even know where they at. They don't even know how to maneuver over here and telling us about the white man and them, and they all lost. They all confused. Like we know this stuff back, like the back of our hand is home. It's home. It's home for us. So it's like you could tell when somebody's telling us something. And it's like, bro, you're not even from here. You could tell you're not from here. You could tell this is not like this is not your back streets. And even some people that are from here for a while, you could still tell this is not it. Like this is not, you know what I'm saying? Like it's hard to explain. Like this is not like your. So that's the only issue we have. Like long as people, like long as if Africans weren't like gaslighting it, like in some own, not all of them. It's just the ones that want to do business with the European, So those are the only ones that try to like stand tall into that story because it benefits them. But other than that, the other when you watch Africans like the videos like on YouTube and stuff, you can tell like they worried about their own turmoils and their own issues, their own, like they're not concerned about whether we African or not over here. You know what I'm saying? So them trying to put us in a beef is just it's just like propaganda because they always want to separate us and they know we all are of one people. But of the fact that y'all live in different regions is the reason why y'all have different features and things that goes on. And of course, once you get in Africa, you're more towards the Asian. You're like surrounded on their land, so you're going to get intermixed with them. And we do not get intermixed with them as much as a African would, or a person from the South America would be mixed with like Spanish. So like we won't be so mixed. And that's why y'all consider mixed. Like mixed means that you're just mixed with Negro and Asian. Like they're just telling you like, yo, you mixed with these two primary things that's here. Like it's a primary source and it's a primary, and you're mixed with that. We're not mixed. Like some people are mixed. We're not mixed. You see what I'm saying? So it just gotta make sense at the end of the day. It all gotta make sense. Most of us over here is not mixed because of how we're surrounded by water and not by conjunctions. Like how the West, that's why the West was so wild. They just getting flooded and they're getting the first intake. And then you got to go through Texas, you got to go through the Mid South to get to even really get to the East, the corner. And of course, the corner is going to be the purest because we're like the furthest away from all the jumping and the intermixing. Um, we used to be. Now it's just like a lot going on. Like going forward, a lot of people are mixing going forward. So we'll see what happens in the future. But yeah, I went through all the comments and it was nice being with you guys. He's making his show to complete. Um, yeah, he's I don't know what to say about Kanye. I don't like he's dying out with his little he tried and no one fell for it. So with trying to they all trying to accomplish us to believe in something. Like they're all trying to get us to, and it ain't never gonna happen. You could ask the most thuggish dude, the thuggish Negro, hey, do you believe in God? And that thuggish Negro that probably took a couple lives if he had to would tell you he would be playing acting or whatever. But once you ask them something like that, they won't never deny they won't never deny God. They won't never. Even if they confused, they won't never say clear out. No, you will never hear American Negro say, "I don't believe in God" straight up, or "F him," or it ain't never gonna happen because it's just not something that we practice. No matter which way y'all believe, just like how these people believe in whatever they believe in, like it's just not gonna happen over here. And they keep trying to make us steer in like, oh, no matter what they do, but it's nothing you can do. Even the most gangsterous dude, Negro, is not going to deny him. They're not going to do it. They're going to look all confused. They're going to feel comfortable if some people, you'd be surprised that a lot of Negroes believe in God, first of all. But the ones that you would think like, oh, everybody can't, like, I think mostly every one of us, like, you really not going to find one unless they're like, weird and wants to be another race. Some people want to be another race, just like some people want to be another sex. Like some people want to be a girl, want to be a boy. Just like some races want to be another race. So it's something out there for everybody out there. You know what I'm saying? So, but majority of the Negroes, they're not going to say no, and most of the time they're going to be like more on the fence of saying yes, or just saying straight up yes, and probably give you some shit in the Bible that you didn't even know he knew, but he's able to recite some stuff or say some stuff, and you're like, okay, because it's in you, it's naturally in you, and they're just trying to steer us away from that so bad because it's just something that they know is unbreakable, like the Beyonce song, like you can't break my soul, whatever that. So if they know, like they're literally all this entertainment and stuff is literally it's like them literally it's mockery at its finest. That's the best way to put it. Is mockery. So when you thinking, oh, they not playing with it, like is that like that girl said, is that a bump? Am I bugging? You're not bugging. You're never tripping off of nothing. When I saw that movie with Whitney Houston, and I was like, is that Brandy? I'm not bugging. Like we're not bugging. Stop thinking that. Or when they say, oh, this person, oh, they just playing. They're not playing. They're doing it right in your face. They're making a mockery. The fact that they know that you think that you trust them for some reason, or and it's so hilarious to them. They love to be devilish and childlike, like where it's like, oh, all these tricks, and let me do a prank on you, and because first of all, this is a big prank that they are in control, and they're roy. It's the big mockery and prank of them all. This is the biggest heist of it all. So let's continue to play with them and play with them and play with them and play with them because they never want you to wake up. Just like the Spike Lee movie when he started the higher learning. The movie starts off saying "Wake up." He's like, and who is that? Samuel Jackson, right? And Spike Lee made the movie, right? So this is all subliminal. It's all subliminal. I hope people could connect it because I can't really explain it to a T, but I just try to show you to play for words and to play with the last names and how the last names or the names are always going to, the biblical names are always going to be there when it comes to entertainment. And when it comes to their stories, the stories is always going to follow the biblical stories of how the takeover happened and things of that nature. And it's always all the entertainment of this stuff. It always is entertainment for America primary. Other countries do not get the same entertainment as we do. They don't get the same shows, the same this, because their history is not the same. So we're getting this kind of history in these shows because all of what happened here that they don't tell you directly. It's like, bro, if you knew this stuff, why I don't say nothing? Because they make money off of it. They make money off of us being stupid and slow and sleep. So, and I told y'all already, save your money. Save your money. I hope you guys are saving your money. Y'all not being spenders no more. We're not being consumers no more. Even if you can't be an entrepreneur, do not be the customer. Just do not be the customer. Even if you can't be the seller, don't be the buyer no more. Okay. Now I might buy a lot of stuff. You see, I got my little New York Gucci hat on. And of course, I got my own name brand on. I do my own thing. I don't know if you can see that well. It's kind of coming off because I did it today. I should have secured it better. Because I don't have a heat press. Anyway, it's a long story. I use my iron. But anyway, yeah, I do. But this is all like cheap, 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 cheap. Like, I make sure I figure it out. It don't never be costing me more than 29, like 20, 30. Like, of course, this is like, so yeah, I'm not spending like $10, $15, and it looks fine to me, just like the real one, baby. Like, nothing wrong with that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, my hair doesn't look great, so I don't want nobody to see my hair, my roots. I didn't take the hair out. And also these sneakers, just to show you as well. This is also from, so what was it, like $50? Like, so yeah. Cause I'm not being a weird, I'm not gonna wear it so much where I need to buy quality versions of these. The only difference is the quality. So if you want to wear something to death and have it forever and keep like a sneaker as a souvenir, I say, hey, go out and buy the real one or whatever. But a lot of these times, I don't know what's the difference between the real ones and the fake ones. I don't know the difference. I would not lie to you. It really is. It's most likely probably a little bit of a difference of quality where this probably won't upkeep as long as the real ones would. Probably like the toughness of it. But let's be honest, there's no Nike material in the world. It's no Nike material. The material is just the material. You see what I'm saying? And then the manufacturers, all of this stuff comes from the same manufacturers in China because they took all of our industrial shit and moved it over to different countries. So even if we wanted to do our own thing, we would have to still go through them to say, hey, can you manufacture my clothes? Can you? So these people are stay ready ripping us off. So I'm not no longer supporting the immigrants and their high price shit to keep bullshitting us because these people are 100% attack on us, knowing that they psychologically are doing warfare on you. It's a choice. Everything is a choice. You're choosing to do stupid shit that's demising you without you even knowing it because you're associating it psychologically with thinking you lit. When you ain't buying a house, you don't own a car, you don't got this and that. So how lit are you with that $800 hat on that bag when I got a $10, $15 one on and I still look as fucking cute as somebody that would have had the $800 hat on or the $300 hat on. So, just make better choices. Definitely not spending my money on shit. I have to wear something, and unfortunately, I have to buy something. So I'm gonna buy stuff, but it's gonna be very, very as frugal as possible. I don't know if it's because I'm a January Capricorn, because people you see January Capricorns like an example of like Ocho Cinco. It's just something about us that we understand the psychological warfare of you wanting to have the most expensive things, but yet your wealth is not set up for you to continue to overindulge in things. Even if you can afford it, it just doesn't make no sense because generational wealth doesn't mean just you're rich. It means your whole family, your whole generation is down. So it gotta make sense at the end of the day, or you're not taking care of your people and you. So, we just want to make better choices as a people because we're in a situation where people are looking at us like we're a big sucker. We're like a big lick. You know what I'm saying? And that's why all these people are over here and they saying that this place don't belong to nobody. So we gotta just come out of that being their big sucker, and if anything, just let's be suckers for each other. Like black Negroes gotta understand that these people, they get along when they don't get along. When they don't get along, they know it's important to stick together anyway. They're still gonna do their business even if they curse each other out as soon as they walk away. Negroes like to stay away from each other and don't, so you gotta stop staying away from each other because we're gonna snap. We're gonna snap. I gotta stay away from this person. I'm gonna snap. We gotta stop snapping and get a little bit more patience. Like we just gotta stop being snapping turtles and get a little bit more patience and really try to figure out how to work together because it's really gonna be the unity that's going to get us out of it more than anything. And that's unity with just Negroes from, the East and Midwest. We really need to unite, but also inviting all Negroes, but we're going to be watching y'all like hawks because y'all are the ones that be effing up. Y'all be trying to play around and 1 minute y'all Negroes and the next minute y'all identifying where y'all really from. So we really don't really want to incorporate y'all, but if y'all really want to be incorporated because y'all live here and y'all identifying here and y'all understand that at the end of the day you really probably are from here, but you probably was raised or being raised by somebody that was from, and their culture is a little bit different, so it may not be the race is different but your culture may be different. So we just gotta be careful, but mainly Negroes from America, the ones that migrated out towards the West as well. Let's just stick together. Let's try to have more patience with each other and try to figure it out. Stop being consumers. We're no longer the consumer. We're not going to be going out to these expensive restaurants. We're going to try to do it ourselves. Do it yourselves. We're going to be doing, as you can see, making your tea in the morning, making sure you're having something warm. We're going to start taking care of our health first and working on our wealth, generational wealth, not just money for yourself, but just the overall well-being of the family of the Negro. So the Negro family can start to come together because a lot of Negro families do not like to come together. And only probably on holidays F that. So we just got to figure it out on how to be a big unit of a big, family reunions. Those things don't happen anymore when they were traditions. So, like, share, and subscribe. I hope that you enjoyed my little rant, my little chit chat. I didn't really have nothing set up, so it was just like, I just tried to give y'all something until y'all see me next time. And make sure you drop all channels. If you have a channel, let me know, because I will especially if you always in my chat, I will definitely shout you out. I'll definitely be a viewer. And if you make some good points, I'm gonna be taping you and showing you. You'll be on my little camera on my show while I make points. So yeah, I will definitely shout you guys out if you have something. So make sure you look at the link. I'm gonna pin a link for this little that thing. Don't forget, because it's very important to have something warm in the morning. So not only am I going to be posting my Amazon finds that I believe is a good deal, but also something that I feel like is very good for you to have as far as over your wellness. I'm going to try to put vitamins and stuff that I take, things like that. It's just going to be more stuff that you would need. We're not going to be posting like sneakers. If you want to know the link to this, I don't have any links that would lead to me affiliate because this is from DHgate. But I would have to give you the link to somebody else that I got from, and she will get um the link or whatever. But I would have to find the link. And if y'all want the link to these things, also, the things like this be coming from like random people on TikTok. So like it be like black girls, West Indian girls, Spanish girls. They be selling this stuff on TikTok. So try to find the best seller because some of these people prices be ridiculous. I'll be finding like really good sellers that do wholesale because they're not really sellers. They're just wholesalers that help the people that sell. So I get my prices. So you already know me. I'm gonna find the best deal. I'm gonna figure everything out. That's what I do. But if you want some of the links, let me know. I'll probably send it to you direct, like in Instagram or through TikTok. I'll send you those links direct because I don't make a dollar. I don't make a dime off of it. So if you want their links, I'll give you their links. But just ask me. But I'm gonna post my links. If you do want to have this cute little thing, if you don't have a what you call it, because you'll more likely use this in the morning every day if it's convenient. If you got to plug up a stew, you're gonna use it more. If you're just like putting a pot on top of the stove, 9 times out of 10 you're not thinking of making you a pot of tea in the morning. If you got something already like made for a kettle that's made for it, you're gonna utilize it more. And we want people to use tea, honey, lemon. And if you want to use tea, honey, and nut, whatever, but we're gonna promote herbal tea too, herbal tea, of course. So anyway, and whatever else that you feel like, I don't know if, some coffee ain't bad, but if you're gonna dress your coffee up, it could become harmful. But if you're drinking like strong coffee, whatever, then do your thing. You can put this in some instant coffee, whatever. But anyway, I'm gonna put the link into the comments. I'm gonna pin it. Hopefully, you guys could check something out. Click my links, check something out, get something. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your guys' week. Like, share, and subscribe. Later, guys.